So yesterday, campaign officially ended. After these political parties campaigned for so long, finally, I would say, or many would say, the day is almost here. We have just today, and even today, no sort of campaign is supposed to go on. You're welcome to GH Today. This is your election hub as well, and we promise you a very comprehensive coverage of the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. I am Serwaa Amihere. We'll start our coverage today. We'll let you know the time as the day goes on. But you're welcome to our show this morning, GH Today. It's always a pleasure coming your way. It's been a while coming to you from the studio. Yesterday, we came to you from the Legon Sports Complex at the University of Ghana, where the NPP held their final rally. The NDC, on the other hand, held their final rally at Medina. And lots of things were said in both camps. In the camp of the NPP, we brought you visuals. You saw the former president, John Kufuor. You saw Donado Dankwa Akufo-Addo. You saw the party executives. Kenny Japan was there. And almost everyone that mattered in the party was there on the side. And then, of course, you saw performances as well. That's Samini on there. And quite a few. That's Lydia Serwaa Al-Hassan, the parliamentary candidate for Iowa West Wugon. You see Anthony Cabo in your shot. You see the vice president and his running mates there, Napo, and their spouses in your shot. Yesterday, the NPP held their final rally. Now, this is the NDC on your screens as well, led by John Dramani Mahama, held their final rally in Medina. And it was also, to drum home their last message to the electorate and tell them why they need to vote for the NDC come Saturday, December 7, 2024. We'll get into the details of what was said, the organization of the event, very shortly when I engage my co-host, Lantam Papanko. But you know how we do it on Fridays. This Friday being the last Friday before election 2024, we'll engage the journalists like we always do, look at what has happened in the campaign trails of both, the strongholds or the two main leading political parties and the other ones as well, and look at other issues that have come up since this whole campaign started. And then we have other conversations coming up as well. You know that on Inside Out on Fridays, we open the phone lines and have you share your thoughts with us. Tomorrow is voting day, and we encourage all of you to vote. It is your civic responsibility to actually go out and vote. And it is not a flex. For those of you who say, I won't vote, I've never voted and I can't be bothered. You need to vote, because if you don't vote, people will go out and vote for you. They will decide the future of this country for you. And I think we've been singing that message or that song for as long as we can. But let's begin the show officially with our quote of the day. Well, today's quote of the day is by Anne Frank, and it reads, "In the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit." And really and truly, that's what matters in the long run. The sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit. And so be kind. We always say this to you, that you don't know what people are going through. When you see them, put up a smile or ask them, how are you doing? Something, be gentle, be kind, be sweet, be a nice person. Not every time you acting like you're the only one with problems in the world. Anyway, so that's our quote of the day. Let's bring you the word of the day, which is a wrap of what we have brought to you the entire week.
Here are the election-related words we brought you this week. On Monday, we brought you euphoria. On Tuesday, we brought you hustings. On Wednesday, we brought you sapient. And on Thursday, we brought you tactical voting.
Right, so these are the words, election-related words that we brought you this week. Please, they're always uploaded on our social media pages. Take a look at them, learn something new. And it's important that we say this, that I say this, even before Lantam comes in, that tomorrow we are going to hear all sorts of English, that someone casted the ballot. I'm going to the polling station. There's nothing like polling station. And I casted my vote. No, you cast your vote. Please. I just casted my vote. Nobody says that. It's bad English. You cast your vote. There's nothing like casted. And there's nothing like polling station. I'm at the polling station or polling center. Nobody says that, please. It's polling. It is polling. That's just by the way. That's an add-on of the word of the day. Let's bring you our video of the day, and this one is by Stoneboy. today. This is GHOne Television. We are your election hub. And you know that I don't do the show alone. I do it with my co-host, Lantam Papanko. Mr. Papanko, good morning.
Tomorrow, if you don't go and vote, wow, JJJ.
Yeah. And
wow,
people will go and decide for you.
Yeah, people will go and decide for you. People will go and choose a president for you. So if you know that you want a president, a particular candidate to, make sure that you are choosing that candidate yourself. Make sure that you are choosing your MP yourself. Make sure that you go and casted your vote. Go to the polling station. Later on, you go to the coalition center. Please.
That's what they say, coalition.
Coalition.
Oh my God.
Coalition. So please, go to your polling station tomorrow and go and cast your vote. See, those of you out there who are saying that because your ID card is missing, you are worried. You don't know what to do. You want to vote, but your ID card is missing. Or because your ID card is missing, you've just decided that you don't want to vote. See, if you registered in the 2020 elections and your ID card is missing, still go to the polling station. You will be verified with the BVD, the biometric verification device, and you will vote. You don't need to physically necessarily have your ID card before you vote. Once you get there and you tell them that your ID card is missing, they will verify you. If your name is in the register, you put your thumb on the BVD, it will bring your details out. You will be verified because your picture and your details are already in the register, and you will vote. So don't let my ID card is missing be an excuse for you to go and vote. Once you have registered, please get to the polling station, cast your ballot, go home. When it's 5 p.m., you come back to the polling station if you like and come and witness the counting of the ballots, and you know the results that have been declared at your polling station, right? So we're doing all of that tomorrow. And of course, like Serwaa has been telling you, this is our EIB election hub, and we're very excited to bring you a very comprehensive coverage of the elections. Do watch out for us. We're going to make sure that we bring you absolutely nothing but the very best from us here at the EIB network during this election coverage cycle. It's beginning later on today, and we're happy about it. Perhaps when we start, we're not going to be leaving until we know who is projected. We are not declaring results, we are projecting. Or we are saying, based on the evidence and the data that we have, it is statistically impossible for candidates A or candidates B to win the elections. That is not declaration of results, is it? It's just a projection, right? So, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do all of that.
Well, yeah, certainly. And just like Lantam said, you should listen to him. And we will start our coverage of the elections today, this evening. And we certainly will let you know the time. And so stay glued to GHOne Television. In fact, the EIB network for all the details on our election-related stories. It's now time for Inside Out. Inside Out this morning, it's Friday, and so we will give you the chance to call us and share your thoughts with us. But I was telling you earlier that yesterday the two main political parties held their final rallies because yesterday officially campaign ended. Today there's no form of campaign that is supposed to happen, but we all know that these political parties will find, their own ways to do what they want to do, by all means, right? Because today Muslims are going to the mosque. We know one of the candidates who is Muslim. He will definitely go to the mosque
by all means, take the opportunity
something, of course, and I'm sure that.
What is the, should I say, weirdest, almost surprising thing about the campaigning period that you've seen?
Weird? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I've seen anything weird, but there's been a lot of interesting sound bites. Yesterday, for instance, at the NPP's final rally at the Legon Sports Complex at the University of Ghana, the president, when he was speaking, Nana Dedankwe Akufo-Addo said, "Patia, ne slogan ye eyezu eyeza eyaza." And I thought that was really funny, right? And it was one of the funny moments for me. I don't know about weird. I see when we say that this election is about two main people, they don't understand. The other parties don't understand.
Yeah, but yesterday, they are also there. They are on the ballot.
What did they do yesterday? Did you see anything substantial?
Maybe they've done their own. That's their style.
Maybe they have. But we are the media. If they did, we would know.
Maybe they've decided not to do mammoth rallies. They've decided to use other routes. Lantam, for example, was on Star Chat with Bolare. Kofi Akpalu yesterday was on Morning Star. With Nade. They're also doing their rounds and also trying to get to their base. So perhaps that is, the style that they want to adopt. While NDC and MPP want to adopt the rally format. So, everybody has their campaign style. They are, whether we like it or not, they are part of the race. Whether or not we think they are going to win, they are a part of the race. They are there. They are on the ballot. And so they would want that recognition and not necessarily be relegated to the background, because they will tell you that there are people who are tired of MPP and NDC and want to vote for them. And so if we keep on saying that it's only MPP and NDC, those who want to vote for them may have the perception that they are even not going to win anyway, so let me not waste my votes. They don't want that. That is why they are always angry and upset when we are saying it is only NDC and MPP. So let's indulge them, Kaka. They are there.
We do. I mean, on this show, we have interviewed a couple of them. I'm just saying that
we have.
Political watchers, students of politics have said, this election is about two main people.
Yeah.
And yes, there are other people on the ballot paper, but this election is essentially about two main people, at least for now.
For now.
If there's no runoff, at least it's between two main people. But yesterday,
it will be interesting to see how the other candidates do, because this time around, the projections that are being made in the various polls is interesting. Nana Kwame Bediako emerging for the very first time seems to be quite popular, and Alan Chamanting with his movement for change has MPP roots, and there are some people who used to support MPP who may be supporting him now. How is that also going to play out, together with the others? The last election, GHOne, I think, emerged third with well over 16,000, if I'm not mistaken, votes or so. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that plays out. But one of the interesting things I saw this election.
What?
The sharing of money, right? We know that people share money. But one interesting thing I witnessed is that in a church, money was being shared with a cloth. There's a Presby church just by Jamila home.
Okay.
Right, at Westland.
Yeah.
And I witnessed, so I got there and I thought maybe it was some, pre-Christmas program going on, or, some church service going on. But on close observation, I realized that these were political party people wearing MPP shirts mostly in the church, and I went closer to ask, what was going on in there. So apparently, pieces of cloth and money was being shared to these party people or anybody who was wearing an MPP shirt inside the church, and it's a Presby church. Though for those who know Westland, I've forgotten the name of their congregation.
I know where you're talking about.
They share a wall with Jamila home. You see Jamila home.
I've seen that building.
You see that Presby church.
Yeah.
They were sharing money inside that church.
Was it a polling center?
I don't know if it's a polling center, but they were there.
Sharing money.
I thought it was an evening church service, but it was in the evening. It was around 7:30 to 8 p.m. thereabouts. And they were sharing money inside the church. I was like, why will the Presby whoever
When
is
was
in charge
this?
of the Presby Church. This was, I think, on Wednesday, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
And you think the purpose was to induce voters?
Why would you be giving cloth and money to people in party shirts inside the church? There was no church service going on. It was the political party actors and the supporters and whoever was wearing an MPP shirt and whoever else was there who was in the church. There was no church service going on. It was a political party activity, and I'm wondering why a Presby church will allow
Maybe
that to happen.
the candidate for the constituency
What is a church member?
is giving out donations. So I mean, that's the only thing
Giving
that
out
I could think of.
donations. They were sharing money and cloth in the
Yeah,
church.
maybe they are giving to things to. Isn't that what these political
It
parties
is
do?
voter inducement. It is
Voter
voter
inducement.
inducement. Let us not play the ostrich about it. Let's
So,
call a speed a speed. It is voter inducement.
I mean, we've seen that in all forms,
Yes,
right?
all forms.
Yeah.
Many places, and both political parties do it. I mean, this particular was the MPP that I saw. But, I mean, the NDC cannot absorb themselves of blame, when it comes to sharing money and, doing all of these things in order to get money. I mean, in order to get votes. And I'm wondering when that is going to be eschewed from our body politics. I don't, right now, I don't even see it going away. If we have a certain member of parliament sharing food to security men or men in uniform in a queue and later comes and lies about it that she wasn't sharing food, when she was caught on camera sharing the food, it leaves a lot to be desired. These have been some of the highlights of this election period and some of the things that I've not been too enthused about. But at the end of the day, we'll all go and decide, won't we? So, have you voted yet? You didn't
No,
do
I
special
didn't
voting.
do special
So you
voting.
vote tomorrow.
I'll vote tomorrow.
I will also vote
and
tomorrow.
my polling center is not far from my house. So 6 a.m. I'm there
You are there.
to vote.
Yeah.
Let your voice be heard.
What if you are here?
I'll be there.
You don't know the roster. You and I will be here.
Yes, but I will be there. I'll be there. I'll
also be there. Whatever be the case,
We will
if,
vote.
if we come out there, we will have break.
to
During
go
the
and
break.
vote. Don't
I'll
worry
go and
about
vote.
that at all. Anyway,
I'll go and vote. You've made up your mind who it is you want to vote
oh,
for
I
already.
decided that a while
long
back.
ago, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Until very recently, I had not decided, but now I'm very
Really?
clear
You
in my
have?
mind, yes.
Okay. I have. I
Yeah.
have. I decided quite a while ago. Anyway, so on Inside Out this morning, we're telling you that we're bringing you the excerpts of the final rally between the two, or that happened between the NDC and the NPP. The NPP had theirs on the Legon Sports Stadium, in the Legon Sports Stadium. The NDC had theirs at Medina. And dignitaries were there for both parties. A lot of things were said. I want us to bring you excerpt, very short because of time, of what happened. Let's start from the NDC. Actually, let's start from the NPP and listen to the president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on that thing I was telling you. Eyezu, Eyeza.
Expansion of our health infrastructure. When we unveiled the policy of Agenda 111, he said, oh, it was the president, that Serwaa. Okay, that's the way we got. When you go to a party, you got to make any Eyezu, Eyeza, Eyeza. Go on, Eyeza. I'm going to talk to you. As of today, that I speak to you. If you all get the old December, 7th January, I'm on the list. Now, they need to be there, and they say, Muhammad Ibrahim,
Well, let's. So that's the president, Nana Akufo-Addo. The president is a proper agenda man. But you know how John Mahama, anytime he's speaking, after like every 2 seconds,
of course, when he speaks a lot, he says, "Yaba 24-hour economy."
So, yesterday the vice president, when he was speaking, also said, when I called for a debate, he didn't come. When he comes, he won't come and say, I will pin him down with facts. Yesterday, I had such a good laugh listening to the two political parties, especially the two candidates speak.
Was interesting.
But let's listen, because Nana Akufo-Addo also spoke about the free senior high school policy, the 24-hour economy policy by the NDC.
We're looking for somebody who has a clear plan for our country. Or somebody who will come and talk to us about the 24-hour economy. When you ask him, what does it mean? Or was it voluntary? Voluntary. That's policy, voluntary. What do you mean? Government policy, voluntary. Open offer. Now where your policy? And Ramutian will be this. All I will say, MLP. 4 solid years in our country. You couldn't keep the lights on for 12 hours a day. How are you going to guarantee us a 24-hour economy when you couldn't keep the lights on for 12 hours a day?
Well, so that's President Akufo-Addo. Unfortunately, we are unable to bring you playback of all the speakers that spoke yesterday at the NPP's rally. Let's cross over to the camp of the NDC now. And Okudzeto Ablakwa spoke, Sam George spoke, Sammy Jemfi spoke, who brought on Malik Basintale to introduce Malik Basintale as the one who is going to be in charge of the Operation Recover or Loot. Yeah. As to whether if they win, they are oral. As to whether if they win, that is ever going to happen, because we've seen this before, remember? But it appears that this time they're very serious about it.
Well,
so
if they
win, and so let's listen to Okudzeto Ablakwa and Sam George speak yesterday at the NDC's final rally.
President Akufo-Addo will fundamentals of your digitalization are weak, the e-gates will not open for you. Let us ask Amihere, Jack, where are you? Like his Ghana Post GPS. On Saturday, as Ghanaians go to the poll, we vote for one reason, the reset of Ghana. A vote for John Mahama is a vote to protect our culture, to protect our family values.
Right, so very prominent figures, members of parliament of the NDC there speaking, Lantam. We're going to be opening the phone lines now. You know, very briefly, we want you to call us and share your thoughts with us. Tomorrow you're voting.
Yeah.
I know that we've asked this question many times. Who are you voting for?
Who are you voting for
and why? We've asked it a couple of times,
so
but
let's
briefly, before we get our first
it's only
caller,
tomorrow.
In terms of, you know, organization of the two events, I think the NDC did it for me. You know, everything looked more coordinated than that of the NDC, the NPP. You know, and I know Standogbe personally, and I think he does amazing with these things. And
he's done very well, you know, for John Mahama and the NDC and every NDC event that John Mahama has to speak at and all of that. It's always very well planned and very well coordinated. You know, even the stage, the setup, everything, with the coverage and everything.
Everything, camera angles, everything just looks well done. You know, the NPP had glitches. You know,
even with the
technical
coverage,
issues, even in you know, even with regard to the coverage. But you know, the microphone going off and stuff, I wasn't expecting that. But with the organization, no surprises there. I was hoping that, you know, there will be a change this time. But let's see, maybe depending. But you know,
at the end of the day, they got the crowds that they were expecting. I mean, both parties, you know, had huge, massive crowds, you know, gathering for them and cheering them on with their vuvuzelas and all of that. So the turnout was great for both political parties. So let's see how that translates into the ballot box. Let's see how. But that's just our observation, and it has nothing to do with you. But we have our first caller on the line, Lantam. Yes, and who are we speaking to? Good morning to you. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Mr. Lantam and Madam Serwaa, Amihere.
Yes.
Great to have you. What's your name?
Thank you very much. My name is Awal, calling from the Bimbila constituency.
Awal in Bimbila. Okay. Final day to go. Who are you voting for and why?
Yes, my mind is made up. I'm going straight away for John Dramani Mahama and Dr. Mambo Adolphine in my constituency. My constituency happens to be the constituency that is led by the current defense minister, who has been abysmal in the constituency. He has been in office for 16 consecutive years without development, and I think he should be booted out in the constituency. Nationally, I think I'm voting for John Dramani Mahama because I think he's a visionary leader. He has done a lot within the 4 years he was given the reins of affairs. From the construction of the Accra Digital Center, there's about 8 cables he laid there. We have the E-block he started. We have several hospitals that talk about the upgrading of the Accra Regional Hospital, the Bank of Ghana Regional, the Reach Hospital. You can talk of the the polyclinics, the chief compounds he has built across the country. I'm voting for John Dramani Mahama to reset our education. Look, the NPP government told us that they're going to do free senior school. Although we had challenges, yes, they've done something. But the basics, that's the primary and junior high school. I have a ward who was in a private school, and I took him from that private school to a public school because I can't pay, because I'm a teacher and my salary is not that much and I can't pay. When I sent it to that public school, I was told the admission fee for that public school was 200 Ghana cedis. We didn't have chairs. When I was in school, they provide chairs for you, and I have to get the chair for 300 Ghana cedis. You know, all in all, what I'm saying is that although they are prioritizing the senior high school, the basics, the foundation is very weak. And that's the reason why our wards are struggling. Even when they go to senior high school, they are struggling because they don't have the basics, what they should have gotten when we were in school, from primary to JSS. They don't have enough teaching. They don't have books to read.
All right.
I was given 10 pamphlets when I was in junior high school to read. Currently, my ward doesn't have even a single pamphlet to read, and I have to rely on myself to get money and get pamphlets for it. So we are spending the loss for matter. I'm voting for the NDC and John Dramani to restart the Thank you.
All right. Very well. Thank you very much for your call to us here on the show today, all the way from Bimbila. Okay. Let's continue to pick some of your calls and, tell us who you're voting for and why.
We have another caller on the line, and please, because we have so many calls coming in, kindly make your presentation or comments very short so that other people can get the opportunity to speak as well. Hello, good morning. Thank you very much for calling. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Yeah, good morning. Serwaa. Name is Alex.
Sorry?
Yeah, my name is Blake.
All right, please go ahead.
Hello, Serwaa.
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead. Okay, we apologize for that. I think he's got network issues. But yeah, let's talk to another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hi, beautiful Serwaa.
Alaji.
Hello. How are you?
Alaji, I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for calling. Let's hear you.
Thank you.
Alaji, today make your presentation very short.
Okay. Serwaa, I hope everything's fine.
By God's grace.
I want to start telling by listening to now from internet for any we should be honorable movement from MP for Saturday and MP for yesterday, finally, we all saw who have anything to do for Ghana. But I just want to tell MPP to stop the lie and the way around lying. Killing money for people that cannot power. If you go to any constituency or any region, you see how these people share the money. Serwaa, do you know what is happening? Do you know what is happening? The NPP parliamentary candidate there, if she stands for the campaign platform, says that I will give 250,000 Ghana today. She's just going around carrying money because she knows she can win the election. We will not let the people go and our vote for MPP again and continue in this happening. These people, they can tell the people to in this country because we all the time MPP, they know how to intention into this election. And Allah, Excellency John Mahama will be victorious in this December tomorrow election. If you want to catch your vote, count it for Excellency John Mahama 24 hours ago. If Excellency John Mahama comes to power, we will reduce the hard price because we went to hard and we pay least.
Alaji, thank you so much for calling. Thank you. And please, like I said, when you call, make your submission very short so others can call. Lantam, we have another.
Yes, let's talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
I'm Raymond from Upper West.
All right, Raymond, talk to us. Who are you voting for and why? And make it very snappy.
Okay. In fact, my candidate, the other time when they asked him about the 24 economy, the way he explained, in fact, I was so depressed. There was no value for me, so it decreased my spirit. I don't think now I would divert my vote to this level.
Okay.
I mean, John Dramani Mahama.
Right. So
who he explained the 24 hour economy now. How they had it displayed. All right. So thank you so much.
So now you've changed your mind. So now you've changed your mind.
I changed my mind for that.
So who are you voting for?
Looking at it, I would think I would either Baumia or the other, what is the name? The young guy, independent candidate.
Who? Cheddar,
correct. I'm now waiting tonight, either Baumia or Jida.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. So let's hope that you've decided by tomorrow morning. Thank you. Thank you for your call.
Okay, we have another call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you. So, my name is Michelle, and I'm calling from Lantam.
All right, let's hear you.
Okay, so I'm voting for John Mahama, and that is because, honestly, I think if our mothers were kind to us and they dedicated most of us, like Ghana, generally, I think NDC wouldn't have any chance at all to come and stand for the presidential and public election like the way they are doing. Because most people, as you can see, they are mad, just not working. People are just based on the fact that they want to vote and just an entity to vote, but they are not looking at what is going on in the country. So I urge most people to just vote for NDC, because if you go back to NDC again, we are dead. I mean, we are dead. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your call. And time we have another caller.
Yes. Hello. Good morning to you.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Kumasi Magazine.
Kumasi Magazine. Swami.
Kumasi Magazine. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Clem.
All right. So tell us, who are you voting for and why?
Anyway, I've been looking for NPP for long, but honestly, this time I've changed my mind.
Oh, really? Why?
Yes, because we are suffering here. Country, but the good here. All the people said their business has collapsed because of dollar. And this man told us that he's coming to arrest the dollar. Why is that check? That dollar is there? We are suffering. Talking about these people or whatever. Hey, master, Amihere, Electoral, who promised here for integrity. None of them went. As we are here and who buy the wages, nothing of the Scarlet Services one, and I'm waiting. If you want to some say that, when you are at one. Oh, me dear, Ninja,
Oh.
That's why we are suffering you. We have a family. Why? Why are you people doing it? You are supposed to move fast. You don't see anything in man. Time to come and go from here. You are talking person. Market for people went to Marco. Now, I was saying, and then who know. You see, can't put any of me nash. And brother, you see, can't hear me nash.
Yeah, some more.
Who want to listen? Who want to listen?
Yo, yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you. Serwaa.
Oh my God.
Why?
You know, I said, bye-bye, Ohene. You see, I mean, this just lets you know that people are angry.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be happy. Not everyone has to be angry.
Yeah.
But you have to vote. Because if you don't vote, people will decide the future of this country for you.
For you.
So you have to go out and vote.
Yeah.
Vote for whoever you want to vote for. That's entirely up to you. But just go out and vote, you know. Yeah, let's speak to our next caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Serwaa and Lantam, Papanko.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for calling. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Today is early market from Israel.
Right.
I have already celebrated in advance. So let me wish all our hard-working families. We thank them. We cannot eat. My name is Kinkaka from Takwa. I am voting for the hope of Ghana, the Sankofa, the Ayebida, the honest one, Excellency Dr. Kwame John Dramani Mahama. The reason is that he is a nation builder. And when he is in government, everywhere in Ghana, small money, small loan he takes, you see plenty development in terms of road, in terms of hospitals, in terms of schools. And if you see what the MPP money they have get and the things we Ghanaians cannot pinpoint it, it's very hard. So now what is going for John Dramani Mahama is maybe 24-hour economy. The bigger game changer solution for the Ghana youth to be able to come to Takwa. 24 good years we have sent the MPP in Parliament. There's nothing we can write home about. Even our current sitting member of Parliament, the role to his own house is our parliamentary candidate, Sheikh Safutela, who created the rule for him. Nothing. Deputy Minister in charge of mining, this time, we, the good people of Takwan Shayim, will show him the exit. As you are bringing John Dramani Mahama, we are waiting for Sheikh Safutela to take this around. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, King Kaka. Thank you so much for calling. Lantam, we have another caller.
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling us. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Free grandson of Busia. Yes,
Nanaje Kasa Etie.
With the Wasepa, near Papa, Mobo, Yakopo, and Shiramopa. Miriam, the Americans say, Ubang grandson of what? Grandson of district, you know, I district. Puntu ewo form edemaye mra to aba 2016 ABC 2024 obehwe puntu a ewon krana no district ewo form bibia nkoso district nim ya to aba de man PP 8 years nie we want tinya anye kwan ba akokra ewon krana no district this is normal boy thing me to intimi tua enti mabunya adumanye enti bemu no na ese yeto aba edima owura John Dramani Mahama dey daba we there do Mahama anya 50 plan this what dey reni aba we e dey akọ ama NDC alpha abudran me dey want bebre yakopon kamo
Yo, yesterday I had bebre so I free anope I was GHOne TV so. All right, all the way from Nkransa. Okay.
Let's speak to our next caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Where are the women? Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and let's hear
you. I'm called Kalifu. I'm calling from the Upper East Region of Ghana.
Let's hear you, sir.
I don't know where to start, but for me, I think tomorrow Ghanaians should turn out in their numbers and vote for change. Look, I can't imagine as young as I am, if I was part of those who were old and this death recycling was going to affect me, I don't know how it will look like. Look, we are in a country where the president came on live television and said that the pensioners with the haircuts. And when they were jubilating, they came and they were going back. Then they have to cut off their hair. As of now, some of them are dead. Some are sick. Is that the kind of country they promised us? We're in this country. The dollar to the city is too much, which it was 4 pesos. Now the dollar is almost 17 cedis. Have you heard Dr. Bangwe talking about the economy again? He's running around talking about digitalization. Was it digitalization that he promised us? Again, let's go to the e-levy. Remember, Serwaa, they celebrated this e-levy with a cake. If you listen to Sleep One, if you have his video played, he said they will pass it. Whatever they want to do, they will pass it. Today, if we see the same people come to say they will cancel e-levy, I don't know, Joker. Look at our water body. Look at how our women are giving birth to deformed children. Just because so individuals saw it that they want to make money out of it. And we are still running around saying that we are going to vote for NPP. I think we must think about this. The future of Ghana in the hands of NPP is bleak. Therefore, I'll urge each and every Ghanaian tomorrow go out and vote for change. Vote for 24-hour economy. You can imagine one job serving 3 people. I think it will solve, if not all, but it will solve to an extent the unemployment situation. And that is what John Mahama is bringing to the people of Ghana. And we must vote for him to implement this one. Look at how free education is being run. You have your child who goes to school 3 months, come back and teach on 2 months or 3 months and go back again. Is that a free education they promised us? You see, everything is just down. Everything. Look, so when you come to Bolivia, I'm sure the Bolivia is here. Look, the road there. Look, they were constructing one road from Bolivia Central to Bogu. Right on after the bridge.
Hello. Oh, we lost him. We apologize for that.
Right.
Lantam, we have another caller.
Yeah,
we'll be wrapping up with the calls very shortly.
Good morning to you. Hello. What's your name? Where are you calling us from? Hello. Yes, I can hardly hear you. If you can, I don't know, turn down the volume on your TV set and let's have a conversation directly through the phone.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. All right, your line is pretty bad. Perhaps you would have to try again. Your line is pretty bad. We can hardly hear you. Let's take another call.
Unfortunately, you know, the calls are so many, and you know when that happens,
well,
the
we're
lines
running out of time. The lines
jam. So we apologize for that. But before we go, because we're wrapping up on this segment, please go out in your numbers and vote.
Yeah.
Go out and vote. That will be it for Inside Out. Welcome back to the show. This is GHOne Television. We are your election hub. And this is a reminder that you need to stay tuned to your EIB election platforms, EIB platforms, for very comprehensive coverage of election-related programs, especially election 2024, the presidential and parliamentary elections. It's time for Breakfast Review. Breakfast Review this morning. On Fridays, we review what has happened the entire week. But today, we're focusing on election 2024. We'll look at the campaign trail. We'll look at the final rally yesterday and other related matters. I'm joined in the studio this morning by Ibrahim Al-Hassan. He's the head of the political desk for the EIB network. And he's also the organizing secretary for the Parliamentary Press Corps. Good morning, Ibrahim. Good morning. And he's the producer of GH Today. Audu Mahama is the managing editor for the Custodian newspaper. Audu, good morning.
Good morning, Serwaa. We miss you. You were enjoying somewhere.
Enjoying where I was working.
She was working. Okay. Very hard. We saw her enjoying and people were entertaining her.
Where?
That's the enjoyment. I saw you in Kumasi.
Oh.
People were enjoying.
I've been back from Kumasi, gone to Tanzania.
Yes. You missed that memo.
I missed that one.
Yeah, I went to work also, and my boss is away.
Tanzania too was work?
Yes.
Oh, great.
I represented Ghana.
Yes.
I hosted an event in Tanzania.
This is my Serwaa.
Cliff Ekufu is chief.
I spoke publicly.
Yes.
This is my Serwaa.
Yes. Everybody knows. It's endorsed.
Cliff Ekufu is chief reporter for the New Times Corporation. Good morning, boss. It's good to have you. And good morning to all of you who have tuned in this morning to watch us. We don't take it lightly. Cliff, what's the name of your friend who is always watching? Dizon. Good morning to you, Dizon, and to any other person who is tuning in this morning. We want to make this as interactive as we can. So please send us messages on Facebook from Jones Manso, Tonkokrum, Amansie South District. Ghanaians are waiting for John Dramani Mahama's 24 hours economy. Manot Baumia, JDM all the way to win massively. Faculty Wise says, good morning, GH1 Television. Send your messages as and when we can. We will read them. Also this week, there was a special voting. I didn't take part in the special voting. I will vote tomorrow. My producer, I know, didn't take part in that as well. I don't know if you did. Cliff, did you? Okay, so looks like we will all be voting tomorrow. But we will still discuss briefly the special voting, because at that special voting, a lot of things happened. So the special voting is to let security personnel, the media, and other people who will be providing essential services on Saturday, which is the election day, vote ahead of time. And we saw that happen. But we saw voter inducement, which was very clear for all to see. And especially in the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency, we saw food that was being shared to persons who were in line to vote. And beyond the food, we also saw persons, the candidates speaking to the voters who were in queue. And I have seen people talk about the sharing of the food, right? And fortunately, you all have great experience when it comes to election. And I have a question on that, but let me just give some background too. So we saw that, and then subsequently, we are aware that John Dumelo, who is the NDC's parliamentary candidate for Ayawaso West Wuogon, has brought an action, has written to the special prosecutor to investigate Lydia Al-Hassan for voter inducement, leveled criminal complaints against her because he alleges that she tried to induce voters. And so that is that. He posted on Twitter, that his lawyers commenced that action following the video that we all saw. After which our correspondent, one of our reporters, interviewed Lydia, who said that she didn't share. She wasn't there. I mean, if I'm not there, how can I share? But then we showed you that she was actually there. Maybe she didn't think that we caught that on camera. But, there's that. But also, let me ask you this, Ibrahim. Does sharing of the food and speaking to the people when they are in line to vote, are they different?
They are all wrong.
Right?
To answer it bluntly, they are all wrong.
Okay.
And that's how come you are not expected. In fact, today by convention, the parties will not campaign. They will not hold rallies. But what they will do is what you call sweeping. So they are still moving from house to house. They are still ensuring that if there are people who are stranded in one constituency who need to be transported to another constituency, they are equally assisted in doing that. And both parties do that. The only limitation for the smaller parties will be that they don't have the resources to undertake such exercises. So, yes, I think, and I've engaged Madam Lydia Al-Hassan and her team. I think it was great deal of indiscretion. So, per the account of Madam Lydia Al-Hassan, she sent the food there to be given to her people because she had agents there, she had people there who were helping with mobilization. So the food and the water was meant for her people. Now, in the process of distributing the food, according to her and then her team, there were people in the queue who asked, I'm quoting her, to it, are we not part of those that you are giving the food or the packages to? I think somebody in her team ought to have known that, no, that's not a good thing to do. Right. Let them finish voting. When they are leaving, just hand it over to them and let them go. That, even though somebody could read that to still be attempt to induce, but that one will not be apparent because the person has taken the decision already. You see, it looks very bad, Serwaa, when you pay attention to the fact that the people in the queue were actually going to determine as to whether Madam Lydia Al-Hassan has a job or doesn't. Well, it came down to that. As to whether you remain an MP or you are then voted out. So, giving them the food, you can extrapolate and say, no, come on, that's not enough to tilt the option in anybody else's favor. But it's wrong. And so the explanation has come. One explanation I have seen, and I think we've not been fair to her in that regard, will be we saying that, and when I say we the media, she directly handed over the food to the people. No, she didn't. Okay. She bent to pick water and drank it. But her people were doing the distribution. Right. She didn't personally hand over any packed food to anybody. So those reports that came initially were wrong. But she was there. She was there. Now, subsequent to the interview she granted us, saying that she was not there, she has recanted that. She said she was there, but she didn't distribute the food. And then it was her team members, her women organizer and her other constituency executives. Yes. I think it's a lesson learned the hard way. This ought not to happen. You remember during the GHOne election, there's also the now Deputy Education Minister who went there and decided to give money in an envelope to the electoral officers and left it on the table. Unfortunately for him, the cameras picked it. And he explained that it's something the politicians do. He says they do it. But because he did it in the open and it became apparent for everybody to see, we've got to talk about it. And that is wrong. It's not within the power of any politician to be feeding EC officials. And it's even against the code of ethics of the EC officers. EC is expected to feed its own officers. That's how come there's a budget allocated to the EC for the entire process, including getting food for the staff. Media houses are supposed to provide food for their journalists. It's not up to the politicians to be feeding journalists tomorrow. Political parties are expected to feed their agents. It's not up to your opponent to go to the polling station and feeding your agent. Yes, so that point must be made abundantly clear. So I think it was huge indiscretion on the part of the team of Madam Lydia Al-Hassan. The special prosecutor actually sent his officers to the place. They interviewed the journalists who were there. Suffices to say that they've commenced investigations even before John Domelo's legal team, led by
Justice
Serwaa, went to the special prosecutor. Like I said, it's unfortunate, but I think it should serve as a lesson to all politicians. It could have been easily done by setting up a table. When you finish voting and you want anything, you come to the table and come and take it. That's it. But in the queue, how do you explain this away? There are no ifs, there are no buts. We just cannot explain this away. Because people are in the queue going to vote. You are on the ballot paper. And then you are even handing them, even if it's ordinary water. It's against the electoral laws. And that's how come I'm sure Kodeyo, even Strat. For the first time, we heard Joseph Vital speak to this. It's wrong. But like I said, I hope the hard lessons are learned and we won't repeat it. But overall, relative to the special voting, I think by and large, it was okay.
Okay. Yesterday as well,
yes.
The special voting didn't happen in the eastern and western regions.
Yes.
Yesterday it happened, and there's a prison officer who was also caught yesterday taking a photo of his ballot paper after he had voted. So that's also one of the things that came out.
Yes, and
did they get the person he voted for?
We don't have that.
We don't have that. but we condemn that, especially on the part of the security services. It was very profound and pronounced on the first day of special voting. And I wonder what was informing that. What power will anybody have on you? What will anybody hold to your head or to your neck that will require that even a commander, a police commander, will want to show evidence that I voted this way or I voted that way? Yes, we've heard of people taking monies and swearing by a deity and what have you. But I don't know why we having this phenomenon of individuals wanting to take pictures of how they voted. To show to who? To get what? It's a very bad development, and hopefully, moving forward, even if we have to amend our electoral laws to say that nobody should take a phone to the voting booth, I think we should. I think that will be the ultimate solution. As it stands now, in fact, there are some legal brains who do not think that it's even an electoral offense for you to take a picture of your thumb-printed ballot paper. Something like that is one of them. And he has made that abundantly clear that he doesn't think it's an illegality. But of course, it comes in the frame of your vote is your secret and the fact that protecting the sanctity of your choice. But if you yourself elect to make that choice public, how does that become an illegality? So I think our electoral laws must be very clear on this, that it's an illegality to take any device that's capable of capturing a picture to the voting booth. And we can easily do this. I think before the next elections, we should have this. Because if we are looking at monetary inducement, we are looking at vote buying, we are looking at people expressing their choices as a result of something they are getting rather than a choice that they believe will help the country. This is one thing that we must have addressed. So regardless of whatever promise you have made to somebody, when you go into the booth, you think independently and express that independent thinking by way of your choice.
I'll do.
Okay, let me say good morning to our cherished viewers. And to say that I've always said that there's so much hypocrisy in this country.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's sickening. I saw that Serwaa Al-Hassan was sharing food in the queue, and everybody's talking about it, and special prosecutor
has
been petitioned to investigate corruption and corruption-related offense in the matter. Well, I wish him good luck. Somebody has petitioned him. He has no choice but to go into it. He himself, even before the petitioning, I hear he himself issued a statement that he was going to do it. I said,
It was a generic statement.
Yes, it wasn't focused on
generic statement that he was going to do.
He'll be looking out for corruption and corruption-related activities.
I think he should not waste his time in this thing, because he will come out with nothing. Because he should not waste our time and our resources to do those things. He should concentrate on the work given to him. This one, he will not come out with anything. So, having said that, let me say that it is a moral issue. It is that people who queue, line up to vote, and you go and be giving them food. Somebody will say that morally it is not right. But how can a pack of food that costs probably less than 100 cedis influence Audu Mahama if I'm in the queue and I take that to vote for one person?
You.
Yes, you see that
there are people who cannot
the level of people who voted that day, the security officers, the journalists, the Serwaa.
The security officers, some of whom take 5 Ghana cedis as bribe on the street?
It is not bribe.
Whatever it is.
It is the same inducement that we people say it is bribe. Mm-hmm. I give police officers money all the time on the street when I see them.
I think there's a difference.
And there's no
willingly giving them and they're stopping you and wanting to.
If they stop you, there are several times I drive, police officers stop me and they tell me that I have done committed one offense or another, especially sometimes a traffic offense. Sometimes you see that when you are speeding, you reach a traffic light and the thing is moving from green to yellow, amber and all that. And you think that, if you stop, somebody may hit you at the back. Then you cross, then they stop you. There was one time, one said, you stop me. I didn't induce a police officer. They filed out, they took me to Cantonment police station. They took me to court.
Let's come back to this.
So it is inducement. Inducement, they say, it's wrong, our electoral laws and all that. But I'm saying that, look, that thing cannot influence anybody to vote for one person or another. It cannot. Because, look, we are belittling the people in there. I have seen videos of people sharing rice and chicken. Some people will say that, because of those things, they will vote. Some will say that, you think this will influence my vote. It depends on the individual. But as we all say, inducement to vote is something that we all want to prevent. Let the people make their own choices. But in the same Ayawaso West constituencies, both Seram and Dumelo were seen sharing water and drinks in 2020 elections in queues. You check. That time, OSP, who was the OSP? Who was the Wital, and all, Shraj, they were all there. They didn't see anything wrong with that in 2020. They were both of them were sharing water, drinks in the queue. The videos are there. I think the investigation, they should go into that one too and put everything together and see whether there's wrongdoing there. So if you say that something is not right, let's be straightforward and say, don't let it happen. Yesterday you didn't talk, today you are talking. That's hypocrisy. Is it different if you shared food yesterday and today you share food, the same queue, the same place, the same venue?
So you want to encourage that?
I don't. I am saying that if you are condemning, let's condemn it when it takes place at any particular time. But you don't do it. 2020, why didn't they talk? The people tell me that, why am I bringing this thing back? History. But history teaches us so many things. If they had probably condemned what happened in 2020, nobody would have repeated it today. It went on because we saw it to be, they probably saw it that in 2020 when they were sharing the money and the food, the water and the drinks, it was nothing. So somebody is encouraged to share probably food. That's what I'm talking about.
But Audu, we have been condemning voter inducement, sharing things to even delegates for so many years. It hasn't stopped.
Will it stop?
Are we not supposed to push for it?
Do you know what happened in U.S. elections? Trump and Biden on election day. People were giving money to go out and bring people to come out and vote. You call that inducement, you call that what, campaigning. What do you call that?
Mobilization.
Fifth, mobilization. Political parties in Ghana mobilize their people. The bus, do you know how much it costs to travel from here to Tamale or Bolga? The two main parties are organizing buses. pulling people from here to Accra to Tamale, Bolga and all that, and they give them chop money. So how do you call it? Is it chop money or spending money?
Yeah,
you money. Those who went to Morning Stars and how do you call it? I went to LA.
Per diem.
LA Primary. They give them per diem. Okay, thank you. That one is no inducement. You give somebody per diem, hire a bus. The person travels from Accra to Tamale, Bolga, Lambusi and all that to go and vote. That one is not inducement. Somebody sharing food. That's why you are investigating. Why are they investigating MPP and NDC for busing people and giving them per diem to go to their place to vote? It's mobilization, right? Look, let's be straight in this country. Let it be clear that if one thing happens today, it is not right. Condemn it so that tomorrow it will not be repeated. If you don't condemn it today, it goes on. Probably it is good that we are condemning it today so that tomorrow it will not happen. But don't let us be hypocritical in this country. There's so much hypocrisy in this country, and that must be condemned. Then let me come to special voting. I have chosen not to. I'm sure all of us here have not voted. Yeah. We did not vote in the special voting, and God willing, we'll be voting tomorrow. And thankfully, we have a dispensation. We are all having our EC press cards, and we'll vote without any hindrance tomorrow early morning. Special voting went on the 2nd December, and people were taking, it was all over social media how people were taking videos and all that. Look, Serwaa, I think that as he spoke about Samson Aladia, it should only be that I should not be forced to disclose who I voted for. But it should not be a crime if I vote and I say that I voted for somebody. It should not be. Why do we have exit polls in US and other countries? People go and vote, and when they walk away, the journalists go to them. Who do you vote for? I voted for Trump. I voted for Biden. I voted for Kamala Harris. That's why they're able to do exit polls. Project who is winning. As journalists, media people, they're able to do it. We sit here and say that, if I go and willingly say that I voted for Dr. Mahmoud Baumi, I should not disclose it. Who doesn't know who I would sit here, who I will vote for? Who doesn't know where former President Mahama will vote for? Who doesn't know where his kids will vote for? DMB himself, Dr. Mahmoud Baumi. Who doesn't know who he will vote for? The wife and all that. So why do we think that people... Look, the votes are known already. When people queue to vote, the supporters, those in the queue, they know who the people are voting for. So why are we pretending that we are not we are not disclosing our votes? They know. You go and queue. When we stand in the queue, we know, hey, this person is NDC, this person is MPP. The agents know. Everybody knows. So why are we pretending that somebody votes and shows that I voted for Party A or Party B and it becomes a crime? What law is that? I'm not sure it is illegal to say that I have willingly voted for somebody. But you cannot force me to tell you who I'll vote for. That one should be the law. And I believe it is a law. Now you cannot force somebody to say that he should vote for A or B. Or he has voted. Who has he voted for? That one he can choose to tell you or not. So you can't say that he should disclose it at all costs.
Okay, Cliff.
Good morning, Serwaa. And good morning to our cherished viewers. Inducements.
Yes.
So, is there any election in this country that people do not induce people to vote in one way or the other? If that is our definition of inducements. Because even today, church elections, becoming presiding bishop, people share things. I think sometimes...
See, I'm laughing.
I have said it and I'll say it again, that the problem of this country, largely, the media is part of the problem of this country. We blow things out of proportion because the thing has become a culture, a subculture of our society. And for your narration, that she went to take care of her own people. And people in the queue started. Straight with that explanation sits very well with me. Because even when you have packed food from one destination to the other on the streets, people who feel the Ghanaian by our nature, that's how we are.
We are beggars.
You understand? So
and then everybody's a beggar.
And people ask me,
that's how we survive.
Maybe they can't afford all, but I think somehow psychologically it has become part and parcel for us. If that is true, because I wasn't there and I haven't heard that narration, could you imagine if she had also declined the offer that Mumun count?
And I'm on 2 years, I'm on magic. Maybe that could have been the best.
Either way, there's nothing surprises me in this country. And so when I hear people making noise about 3 days before the Ayawasu was gone, Okankwe South or so, somebody, another political party, sharing bags of rice with fowls, would that be inducement? Why? That one has not crossed.
That's Okankwe North, I think.
That's South. Okankwe South.
The GHOne guy, yeah.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah. Why? The special prosecutor hasn't seen that.
Maybe nobody has petition.
If a pack of rice or banku or whatever can induce a voter, then what a 5 kilograms of rice and a big fowl will do, I don't know what name we will decide to give to it. But it has become part and parcel of us. How many times, like Serwaa asked, haven't we condemned delegates collecting? And depending on which side of the aisle you stand, they have every justification, explanation for it.
TNT, what and what?
Some will say TNT, some will say we are giving them money. You can't ask people to come and vote. And psychologically, it has fed into our mind. We believing that it is our right as delegates to receive. During the last MPP parliamentary elections, delegate elections, in Tema West, people boldly asking why Carlos refused to recontest. Because
on our network, yes, we engage that lady.
Because what they used to receive
from him
because they see that as their cocoa season, and Carlos' value for the cocoa at that time was far higher. People felt so disappointed from all the other contestants because the value placed on their cocoa, the cocoa price at that time had fallen
drastically.
What did we say about that?
We condemn
so, for Christ's sake, except there is the choosing and picking that hinders us from making headway, because it looks as if, depending on where your sympathies are, you turn a blind eye when such things are happening. We are talking about people taking shots of their ballots. Why? Somebody who has risen to the highest office in this country in 2020 entered the ballot, completed, and showed it to the whole world.
Why you can't mention the person?
Yeah.
You understand? Because sometimes when you do that, you see,
he completed and showed it.
I try as much as
people
possible
in the queue
not to do the
nobody
balancing of the equation, but clearly we are dishonest, we are hypocritical, and that is why nothing gets done in this country. And I keep asking people, corruption. Why? Who hasn't been referred to? Which politician hasn't been referred to as corrupt? And it's sickening. So let's move on.
Briefly before you come, because I'm responding to some of the things you say.
Okay.
I think the photographing the thumb-printed ballot paper, the challenge and why it's different from how I would put it is this. It breeds corruption. So for instance, somebody can promise you that, go and vote for me, bring evidence, and take this amount of money.
Okay.
And that will make nonsense of our political process. True and true. See, the politicians themselves, Parliament will do. Oseche Mensabozu has been on a crusade for God knows how long about the influence of money and the fact that eventually we'll have drug barons running our political system for us. And if we are not there already, then we are on our way there. Or criminals.
You can,
let me put it that way. Yes, let me put it that way. You see, so that is where the problem is. And I think, yes, if whoever might have done it in the past, it's wrong. See, your vote should be a secret, especially when somebody is holding you from behind and saying that, show me evidence. So the deities are not enough because now they give you something, they say, swear by this river, swear by this. That's not enough. Now they want you to physically present evidence.
See,
in fact,
but that is why
delegate elections, we have cast pack. The candidate will tell you that. These are the cast pack. Go and vote. If I win, come for the cast. We talked about that here.
That is where I have the challenge. Where we try to find possible rationalization for one act or the other. We are only assuming that security of those who were filming their ballots because somebody has
but why else would you want evidence?
Why would you want to do that?
Yes.
No, you want people to say that I voted for A.
Then the question would be, why would I?
It's a campaign
and then show it to the whole world.
It's a message.
Yeah, but why would you? I would do if you go.
I want
into
people
vote,
to know that this is a candidate I want you to.
We already know.
You already know that when I go and vote, you know.
Yes,
so
you have said it publicly.
Not me. I mean the person for me.
Hold on.
In the case of former President GHOne Mahama, why?
We don't know who you vote for.
That he will go into the ballot.
You are reinforcing the argument
and decide to vote.
So it's immaterial.
So what is the rationale behind taking and showing it to
so
them?
I think that
he wants somebody to say that.
Hold on.
Or he wants
I think that when you talk about the candidate, for instance, I mean they will have different. It's if John Dramani Mahama, for instance, or Dr. Bawumia votes shows his ballot paper to the world, it's to probably give like a reaffirmation or confirmation that this is where my picture is. So look out for that number and vote.
And if it's wrong, it's wrong.
It's wrong. Yes. If I
go, that's campaigning.
So
hold on. If I go, that's like he said. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But if I go into the ballot box,
do we condemn
it? But we are here condemning it.
If I go into the ballot box and I vote, I don't know why I need to come and tell you who I voted
but
for.
I choose.
People are posting it on social media.
Can you even identify somebody posting anything? Can you identify one?
Tell anybody.
Can you identify one officer or one journalist who posted his?
On social media.
It's wrong.
There are people who do.
Who were arrested.
We cannot.
People were arrested.
We cannot be. You have been voting for as long as I can remember.
Yes.
And you know it has been happening.
Yes.
And you cannot sit here and act as if the people who take pictures of their ballot paper don't do it for a purpose.
Yes.
You cannot be oblivious. I don't want you to be dishonest about it.
I am not dishonest.
So
I have explained. Let me respond to Serwaa. It cannot be the main purpose. My main purpose, if I do that, is to show Ghanaians that this is the right person to vote for. This is the person I support. All of
which
you vote
have been doing on this platform since this.
But I'm not the only person. The person who is doing that is also telling a story.
See,
by the way, it is not just one party that it is happening.
Let's not encourage this. You see,
okay,
it's a race to know.
Why wouldn't I encourage it when people do exit polls? How are you?
But you see, we can't turn a blind eye.
No, I get that.
And today pretend as if hell is breaking loose. That is where I have a challenge. So, like, we tell and go.
I have a question to ask Serwaa.
The internal elections. Well, were we not in this country when an official statement was issued about 14 million from a certain quarter to finance the transportation across the country?
Yes.
And we're not in this country.
Political party funding.
And that one is
one after the other. So yes,
let me ask you a question. Yes. In this same year, Serwaa, because you go to the market.
Yes.
I'm not a lady. I don't go to the market.
Men go to the market.
Men go to the market.
I don't.
Okay.
Once a while, if I want to.
Go ahead with it.
So how much does a chicken or fowl cost?
I wouldn't know.
Because you don't buy fowls or chicken.
I don't buy personally, but I sent for it.
But do you know the cost?
I have to ask.
How much does a pack of that one? You know, a pack of 5 kilo rice cost. The least minimum. So if you combine
my mother buys all these things for me.
So as for you, your mommy's baby, daughter. That one I know. But I thought you were buying things for her in the market. You won't even go to the market. That's why you don't know.
Says who?
Serwaa, if you were going, you would have known. So if you combine a fowl or a chicken and the 1 5 pack of this thing, how much would that cost? And compare it to a pack of food.
What is your point?
My point is that why are all these people not condemning the circulation of the GHOne man?
Are you suggesting?
I am saying that let's don't pick and choose. Or if it is wrong, it is wrong.
Are you suggesting that
yes,
sharing food items to voters or constituents a week before elections and being in the queue and sharing the food to them while they are in the queue to vote is the same thing?
It is the same thing. Why?
It's the same thing.
You see.
Someone.
So.
Why then don't you give it to them a week before and be rest assured? Because we can hold on, please. We cannot be oblivious to the fact that items must have been shared already to members of the constituency. We cannot be oblivious to it. Then we are being hypocrites. Why do you feel? Hold on. Why do you feel the need? Why do you feel the need to meet me at the queue or at my voting center, my polling center, and give me food just when I am going to vote?
And that food will let you decide who you vote for.
It doesn't. In the queue. When I'm starving, and there's the possibility.
We are all journalists. Have we not sat here and talked about, in fact, 2020, people were sharing nose masks and in the queue, and we condemned it.
We should not even have condemned that
because there are people who have never used a nose mask and you are giving it to them at that crucial point because you want to give them a reason to vote for you. Have we not condemned it here as journalists?
You are not thinking that you are voting, you are giving that person a nose mask so that you not transmit
my challenge is not about the condemnation. My challenge is the choosing and picking.
A possible COVID virus, COVID-19 virus to somebody.
The same question I asked Audu.
Yes.
Are you suggesting that these two things are the same? That GHOne, because you made reference to GHOne distributing chicken and bag of rice to his constituents.
Did you hear their responses? Yes. The people who took do you hear their response when they took the chickens?
Nyami Israel.
One said, a promise work. A promise where you are a promise work. Where I vote one she care about or more.
Yes, so he's promised us to vote for him because when he comes to power, or if he comes to power, he will give us more. Are you suggesting that?
What is that?
Hold on.
Let's ask her question.
That act, which was done about a week ago, and what if GHOne or his opponent, which is the gender minister, what's her name? GHOne Newman, decides to meet the voters in the queue when they are getting ready to vote in the queue and give them food or whatever it is, even if it's water, is the same thing?
Same.
Okay.
It will not be the same. Let me answer you. Let me see.
Let him finish.
Okay, you come to me.
But I asked you and you said it's the same. Why do you want to change your mind?
I was saying something else. Okay, but I will explain.
Inducement yesterday.
I said all this inducement, but I didn't say the same.
It's inducement today. GHOne is not a Father Christmas.
Okay.
He could have done it January this year. He could have done it October this year. Why did he choose a week to elections? As for intent, it is very difficult to establish people's intentions as to whether it was meant to induce people or being sympathetic to the plight or empathetic to the plight of people, because definitely there may be people in her constituents. Me, I don't foresee any MP, parliamentary candidate in my constituency sharing things for me to run in there to collect, because a bag of rice and a fowl or a pack of cooked rice or banku will not motivate me to go and queue for it. It even puts me off. But there are others who will, and there are many of such within their constituencies whose status may not be like me, so they decide to go and queue and collecting. One of the videos, someone had collected and was even asking for one for someone in the house. So it means there are people with needs. They have been with them in the constituency throughout the whole year. Why did he choose that particular week to do it? Inducement, whether it comes later or earlier, are all inducement. If we are condemning inducement, let's be firm, because the very moment you find a way to rationalize one, there will be 100 justification for the other one happening, and we don't make any headway in our quest to sanitize our system. That is my issue. If it is not right, it is not right, because I don't know any candidate who sits in his house and every day goes about sharing things to people. So once it is nearing election and you decide to do it, the intention is to influence, to induce. So whether you do it today or tomorrow, for me, they are the same. So there is no haggling over whether somebody decided to do it. And like I would say, if 5 bags of rice, 5 kilograms of rice, which I took last week, cannot influence my voting pattern, is it a pack of rice? Sometimes jollof rice, even with smoke. That is going to influence
you don't think that the venue and the timing is an issue? Once it's wrong, it's wrong, right?
Thank you very much.
Audu, quickly.
So we are talking of inducement, right? And we are also talking of the venue.
I am the one that just talked about the venue and the timing.
Whether they are the same. Let me say that the places, they are not the same. One is in the queue, another one is in the queue. But the question is, are they both inducements? If they are both inducements, are inducements right or wrong? If they are wrong, let's condemn both. That's my argument. But I'm saying that I will do sitting here. You will risk giving me food or giving even $1 million to say that I should go and vote for somebody. If you go and let me swear, you go and swear Antoine Yama, you will not get my vote, even with your money, because I will tell you that I will not vote for you. Look, you bring me $1 million.
You are not the target of these things.
Oh,
the two of
you think that a lot of people who take those things will go and vote for you because you have given him a chicken or a bag of 5 kilos? You think all of them will do that? These political parties that are protesting and all that and making noise and disturbing our ears, don't they have, when they go to their primaries, don't you see highest bidders losing primaries? Though sometimes those who give more inducement lose. Why do they lose? It tells you that it is not your inducement or your money that will let them pick you. But what I'm saying is, if we are condemning something that is not right, let's do it across board. Let's do it no matter who is involved. Because if it is about inducement not being good, let's condemn the smallest person and the highest person in this country. Okay. If we don't do that, if we pick and choose, somebody will have justification to also repeat the wrong thing.
Okay.
That's my argument.
So, okay, Ibrahim,
in your defense, I'm not sure we've picked and we've chosen anything.
Not you.
No, I understand.
Allow him to just make his point.
So there's a reason why the electoral laws do not allow anybody to wear party colors to the voting center.
Yes.
Right. But where GHOne was sharing the rice, there was no law that says don't wear party colors. I'm giving you this analogy for a reason.
Okay.
Now, there's a reason why parliamentary candidates are not expected to engage voters at the voting center.
Okay.
But they are allowed to engage the voters before they get to the voting center. There's a reason, because the time and the location, they are not the same. We have condemned monetization of our democracy from day one. Since we started speaking, since we joined this media, we've been condemning it. So for anybody to say that it's just Lydia that has been isolated, I beg to say that cannot be factually accurate.
No, I gave you 2020 instance.
You're not getting me. I'm talking about
why don't please let him finish?
We are talking about inducement. And I'm saying that, see, there is a former MC who is standing trial. Guess what he did? He said he gave delegate assembly members money to vote for his confirmation. They didn't, so they should return his money. Special prosecutor is prosecuting him. He verbally said that he's been prosecuted. The point we are making is that for inducement, it's condemnable. I started by telling you that even I'm sure Lydia who admit that was indiscretion. Cliff was talking about if they had said no to the people who had requested. You see, that's why I said the politicians, they share across board. Okay. They share all the things that you are talking about. Okay. But how it was done is what has landed all of us here. Okay. People in the queue, I've never seen it. Cliff can point to me which video we've seen of people in the queue going to vote.
I said 2020.
I didn't see it. You can send it to me. We'll play it.
Yes.
People in the queue at the voting center going to vote. And then the electoral officers, the police people there, allow politicians to come there and distribute things. Then we might as well have called for all of them their heads.
Some of them were security officers taking the food, though. Did you see?
No, this is worse. I'm talking about, you said the 2021. Yeah. I'm saying that if there were security people there who allowed people to come in the queue and share items, goodies to voters who were in the queue to go and vote.
So
then that's the height of the impunity.
There was no Shraj boss at the time. There was no.
I'm saying I didn't see it.
I would do. To support what IB is saying, we have seen people gather at polling stations and at the background somewhere they do whatever thing they want to do, give things to people before they join the queue. What he's saying is we haven't seen, and I also haven't seen, but if you say you have a video, we all want to see of people actually being in queue to vote and being given goodies. We know politicians always go to the polling center and give people things. We know they do it. But I haven't seen. But you have been voting longer than all of us, so you will have seen people actually being given things in the queue. Cliff,
So
have you
do you
seen
know
that?
how it started?
Have you seen it though?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Do you know how it started?
Tell me.
It started with Bentwa, Kaku.
Those ones were not in the queue, to be fair.
Yes, we felt it was nothing.
Kako in the queue or at the polling center?
This whole issue of inducement and monetization of our... Every time the impunity is taken to another level. Every time the impunity is taken to another level. Because 20 years ago, you couldn't imagine people carrying television sets to polling centers.
That's internal elections.
Internal elections.
Okay, but
you understand?
That's markedly different.
You understand? No. Yes. 20 years ago. No, you see, it's the level of... It's how we continue to graduate our level of impunity.
Okay.
Years back, like you are saying, they will bring the food and look for a very conspicuous house corner. It's a corner, but very conspicuous. And then, once you pick, you go and do it. Now we have graduated from looking for a corner and we have moved it closer. Because in the first place, it was wrong even bringing it to a corner. And we assumed it was okay. So every year, our impunity levels keep
go up,
changing. And that is why if you decide to rationalize one, there will always be excuses for the other. And once you do that, we never make a way forward, because today it is this one, tomorrow it is the other one. I have covered elections of different political parties. In 2016, a political party's presidential primary was held in Jubilee Park. One of the aspirants had gotten people to bring a truckload of motorbikes in the boxes from Boku to Wa, and then decided that, okay, if you vote for me, you are going to get, so all those of you who are going to vote for me, come. Invariably, almost everybody went for the motor, the keys for the motor, but the motor were in boxes. Then after the elections, the one who organized that lost the election. After losing the elections, he quickly left the place. Delegates thinking they are smart with their keys went to the track to go and collect their motorbikes. Only for the Boku boys to collect the keys from them and told them if they don't leave the place. So he went with the intention to even scam the delegates. And the delegates were smart enough. This was in 2016. Ask anybody who was in WA and ask for the party that held its delegate Congress in WA in 2016.
That's why now they demand pictures. So then you come and show evidence that you vote for them.
Exactly.
So that's the point.
You understand?
Exactly. So, no, you get what IB is saying, right?
That's what.
That now the gentleman will demand that you take pictures of evidence of you voting for him.
But demanding pictures have always been in existence before
not
that
this
time.
much.
No,
not this
they
much.
have been demanding for pictures prior to 2016.
When was smartphone invented? Not this much.
Prior to 2016.
I agree with IB, not this much. And also,
that one too, I also agree with IB, not this much.
Because people want proof.
But people have different.
That is why people are being made to swear oaths and whatnot. And look, I mean,
so is it not an improvement? If there are no more oaths, if there
cameras have replaced,
if there are no cameras, what is available is what you make do.
So we are
and if it is
what we are saying, hold on. What I said
you are not correct.
The point that IB is to buttress the point that IB made that you may say that the taking of the photos, it may not be illegal, but then there's a motive behind it.
And I'm saying as for motives.
And majority of the people who engage in that act want to fulfill that motive.
As for motives, me and you, very difficult to determine because it's not written on the forehead.
It's not police. Everybody's motive is different.
Of course, but there are some. There are basics for. There are baselines for determining when people want to commit a crime. When people want to commit a crime and the motive behind it. If you have a cutlass in your hand or a machete and you strike someone, what is your motive? Because you want to decorate their body or what?
I like that.
The level of processes.
So I have my take on this.
To establish your thought processes may not necessarily be, even though it may be the same crime.
Cliff, I don't think you are being honest about this situation.
No, I'm being very, very honest.
You are not, because you are telling me that if Audu walks into the studio today and gives me 1,000 Ghana and says, Serwaa, make sure you vote for the MPP tomorrow.
Yes.
If you vote for the MPP tomorrow, there is more from where it came from.
Yes.
And what will I have to show that I voted for the MPP? If I can take a picture of my ballot, I will take it and come and show you. See,
that's one motive. That's overriding motive. It cannot be overriding motive. It cannot be overriding. That's one motive. My motive is not like that.
And I'm saying that you are just part of
it depends on your own scenario.
Well, am I the only Ghanaian?
In the absence, those days when there were no cameras, it will be Antwa, swear by it.
But nobody will come to Audu or you to swear by Antwa.
Exactly. But they respect you much more than you can imagine. So they won't do that.
Nobody will come to me.
That is why. Hold on.
We're imagining that those who are taking the inducement are nobody.
I'm supposed to be asking the questions, but you are making me add my voice. No, but that is why, you know, when GHOne shared the fowls and the rice to people, I was reading the comments on social media on one of the posts, and someone, not just one, actually a few people said, these are the people who will be taking these things. Because someone like me, IB, how do you, GHOne or whoever your members or your candidates are, will not come and give you rice because they know that you will not that will not induce you to vote for them. But they have targets for these things.
But you also have you also have a price.
If you take a picture,
if that's your what you are saying,
if you take a picture of your vote, you Audu, the motive that you have as an individual of your social standing to put it out there, it doesn't matter. To put it out there with all the exposure you have and your level of education will be different. And we will not be surprised because you have openly declared where you stand. If IB does,
but why can't
hold on.
everybody declare like I have declared?
Why do they have to?
Why? It is their choice.
Why do they say that your vote is your secret?
But it doesn't say it is my secret that you cannot force me to disclose. But willingly I can disclose.
That's as you.
That is the law.
And we are saying that if IB, for instance, goes to take a pic, I will be surprised.
Exactly.
I wonder, why would IB do that?
Because he wants Ghanaians to see who he has voted for.
Then I could have sat here and said it.
Abudu has IB has a large following.
Cliff, would you take a picture of your ballot?
I will not do that.
Why?
Thank you. That's it.
Why?
I will not do that because
You don't want us to know who you voted for by Audu's logic.
interestingly, I don't hide
Okay,
where my persuasions
Where's
are.
your
So,
persuasions?
I don't hide. I'm a liberal.
Okay.
I'm a pure blue.
You are MPP.
I'm a pure blue.
Okay, but
That's
you
where
will
my
not
sympathies
post. But
are.
so you see, if I see you post a picture of your ballot, I won't be surprised.
I will not do that because.
But you won't do that.
I won't do that because, by convention, we have been educated.
This convention thing.
Upcoming.
is-
Allow
Now,
him to make his
You may
point.
decide.
That,
There may be one or two people that, if I decide to film and put it out there, who will be influenced in a way. And I'm sure it forms part of the reasons why they say, let your vote be a secret. So I would do that. And I believe everybody.
You should be encouraged to do that.
No, everybody. In any case, you are talking about exit poll.
Yes.
Yeah. That one you say
People
it, you don't
saying
show.
it.
You
Exactly.
say
People
you
saying
don't show.
it may not necessarily
Because
be
we
true.
are not allowed
Exactly.
to say. That's
You
what
can
they are
lie.
taking
No.
You have an opportunity of lying. But
People
if you take a
saying
picture,
it
there's
may
no
not
opportunity of
necessarily-
you lying. Exit polls, you can tell a lie.
May
I voted
not
for Serwaa,
necessarily.
but I can say I voted for you.
May not necessarily. You understand? May not necessarily. Because
All
I
right,
have.
thank you, Cliff.
Yeah.
I think we need to move on
Yeah,
from
well.
this topic,
Yeah,
else we
Serwaa.
will spend the whole day.
Yes, this is very important.
30 seconds.
Okay. So what I am saying that my argument is that if somebody, it may not be by taking a picture of the vote, but somebody who goes to vote and you ask the person, who did you vote for? It should not be a difficulty at all for the person to say, I voted for A or B. If a presidential candidate can vote and show his ballot to the whole world, what is that different from somebody taking a picture and circulating on social media? What's the difference?
Okay.
Audu, you've made your point very clear. So
Okay.
let's move on.
All right.
Let's talk about the rallies yesterday. Okay. And before you mirror into the final rally, I'll pick your thought generally on how the political parties have run their campaign so far. But that will happen right after the break. Stay with us. Hello, this is GH Today. I am Serwaa Amihere. And if you just joined us, we've been talking about the elections, which is happening tomorrow, by the way. And also, we have been talking about the special voting inducement allegations that happened. I'm here with Ibrahim Alhassan, Audu Mahama, and Clifford Ekufo. We're going to be talking about the campaigns of the political parties and wrap it up with the final rally that happened yesterday with the two main political parties, the NDC and the NPP. Myself and the team, we were at the NPP's grounds. For the morning show, the Voters Connect segment of the morning show, did a few interviews, and then we had our team also at the NDC's final rally that happened at Medina. And before we get to the final rally, which is the main focus, because that gives us a wrap of everything that they have been talking about, I want us to quickly look at how the parties have conducted their campaign over time. You know, which ones have impressed you the most? And I was saying to Lantam this morning that when we say that the election tomorrow is between two main people get offended. But really and truly, I mean, from what we even saw yesterday, there are only two. Let me not use the word I want to use.
The special voting, when you went around, did you see the other parties' agents around?
How would you know?
I went to many polling stations. I didn't see them. And when I go, I asked where MPP agents, NDC agents, Afrofranto agents, Apollo and all that. None. Okay. The campaign, all the parties have, I think, met two main parties. They've done well. They've gone across the country. They have told Ghanaians what they can offer and all that. And apart from the two parties, the party, I was in the northern region for about a week. Yes. The only visible person that I saw there is this Air Force man.
Cheddar.
He's the only person I saw.
Air Force man?
New Force.
Okay, New Force, sorry. He dresses like an Air Force like pilot. You see his billboards in Tamale and all that. The rest, and in fact, posters. Another candidate that you probably competing with the MPP. This thing is Apollo. I'm telling you, Apollo has been above MPP and he's the second person with posters.
Yeah,
posters.
Because he has a printing house, a printing company. He said it. He said it.
The secret.
You know, he was in Bola's office when he came to apologize for the Chachus remarks. And Bola asked him, and he said it there. I was there that he has a printing company. So he handles his printing himself.
Because I was wondering.
I was wondering how he was getting those posters.
Yes.
So across there's no region that you not see his posters scattered.
Yes.
Oh, I understand.
Yes.
So apart from that, in terms of visibility, in terms of communicating, convincing voters, talking to voters, is the two main parties, MPP and NDC, and they have done it across the country, and by and large, they have comported themselves throughout this campaign. The two main parties, I have seen and covered and seen political campaigning across the country. Sometimes you see them clashing and fighting throughout this campaign. I have not seen that. In fact, when I went to Tamale, on the same route, you see MPP people when they are marching. You see these people coming across, and this one will be saying number 8, this one will say number 1, and all that. And they laugh, and it was so good. And I like that aspect of it. I think that it shows how we are growing as a country politically. But if you come to the specific messages, I have an observation to make. I want all of us to look at what the parties have been telling the Ghanaian voter. There's one party who mount the platform and say that I have done A, B, C, D when I was in government, and I will do A, B, C, D when I come to power. Another one will say that, look, when I come, all the loot, all they have a word. Okay, let me say the party that's the first one. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, everybody who watch him, That was always his message. That he will say, tell Ghanaians what MPP, Akufo-Addo Bawumia government has been able to do in these last 8 years. The ups and downs and all that. Then he will then tell you, as a man who has his own vision, what he will do for this country throughout the campaign. And you realize that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, since I started voting, Serwaa, I have never seen the type of political organization campaigning like his campaign. Since he became the flag bearer of MPP on the 4th November 2024, he has organized his campaign in a manner that I have not seen before. I want anybody to challenge me that kind of campaign. He goes in the constituency. He meets all the groups in the constituency. He does constituency connect, youth connect. Then he goes to address people. It's been that 276 constituencies. He has done that across the country. There's no constituency that he has not covered. He has told Ghanaians his message, what he has for them. That's what he has done. That is why are we allowed to, are we doing campaigning?
No, you can't talk.
Go ahead, but to go ahead and talk.
Yes, I am saying that is why tomorrow Dr. Bawumia will win this election. He has told Ghanaians, he's not just complaining. He has told them what the challenges are, what the issues are, what this government has been able to do, and what he intends to do when he becomes president. He has told Ghanaians, and I have traveled to many regions, not just in Accra. And I've seen what the people are saying. I've heard what the people are saying. And that is why I think that will give him victory tomorrow. Look, I have said that any professor, anybody who is on any side will create a platform, Serwaa, will come and will take sector by sector, education, health, roads, everything. I have not seen any government since the Fourth Republic that has performed better than Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. I am prepared to make that here, and will come with facts and figures, data. Anybody, you wait, after the election, the story will be told. And that's where Ghanaians will know that Ghanaians will reward you when you perform. They will let you, they will pack at where you belong when you don't tell them what they want to hear or what you can do for them. So the campaigning, as I said, has gone on well. The other parties have done their best, but I think that one has been outstanding, and that person will be crowned. You will see the evidence tomorrow. I'm so confident. I am so confident. I'll move to regions. I know Greater Accra is tight. All the noise is in Greater Accra, but Greater Accra alone is not Ghana. I have this phrase, Serwaa. Serwaa's economy is not my economy.
Yeah.
So when you talk and you sit and talk about inflation, it's 22%, 23%. I went to the northern region. I never heard something like inflation in the north. I went to for the 1 week. I never heard anything about CD dollar exchange rate. I never heard. I heard different things, and those different things will influence people to vote across the country. So I don't. When you talk of dollar, I am not a dollar person. Me, the CDs cry me nibi. Even the CDs I don't have. So why will I be complaining about dollar being high or low? I don't. And there are many people, millions of Ghanaians like me, probably worse than me, who the dollar, you are doing your training. I'll also listen to a businessman. I have a base in Labone. Serwaa, as for after election, I'll take you to that base. We have a base there. I saw a businessman who came. Look, now people are talking about ports. Things are high and all that. I said, look, when they charge me at the ports, when I come, I put it, I calculate it, I put it on the cost and everything on it. People buy. Serwaa. People buy, and I'll go back and bring them again. People buy. So as for me, I am doing my business. I'm making money. If you think that Ghanaians are not buying things in this country, you will be fooling yourself. Even though everything is not smooth. Look, let's face it, there's hardship in this country. Like all over the world. So well, you have traveled. You just went to Tanzania. You came. You saw what is happening in that country? Do they have everything run smoothly? I went to an oil, gas-rich country, Azerbaijan, for the COP. Look, they don't have everything running like they wish. You see them complaining, but they are even richer than us. Even though they are not as many as we are, but they are richer than us. They are more developed than us, but they are complaining. UK, US, and all that. Everybody is complaining. So there are challenges. It is not just complaining about challenges. What are you bringing to solve the challenge or the problems? That is what Ghanaian people will be have been looking for. So if you complain, and you don't offer solutions, you will not get the result. It is about offering solutions, alternative ideas that will let you ideas. But as I said, it is my mouth that is saying it. It is for Ghanaians to decide. They may say that what you are saying is not right. You are not seeing it rightly. And they have imposed different posts. The real post, as I've always said, will be tomorrow. And everybody will see smoothness level.
Ibrahim.
Yes, so
you see that I've not spoken for anybody.
Yes, you've done well.
You said that you did. That's did. Okay.
Yes, so are the campaigns. I think largely they've been issue-based. But as a watcher of the political space,
I'm not speaking about the rally.
No, we are here to get to the rally.
Okay.
She will ask about the rally subsequently. We've been to a place where we've never been to before. So I'm sure if you monitor the media space, you've seen a negative adverts against each political party. Yeah. We've never been here. Never have we had somebody's voice being used against him, somebody's image being used against him. Because when you go to the advertising community, the point has always been that if you project your opponent, albeit negatively, his image will be ingrained on the minds of people. So you don't do that. But this time around, we have NDC spending money to put out images of Bawumia and his voice.
Yeah.
We have MPP spending money to put out images of Mahama and his voice. And then you're like, wow. So we're finally there. Right? So the negative advert has gone a notch higher. Like the US. Yes, like the US. And so the politicians have this time around copied it. If you move that one aside, there's one useful lesson that the politicians have learned, and that is to avoid needless huge rallies. They used to bus people from Greater Accra to Eastern Region.
Yes.
From Eastern Region to Volta Region. And because they felt the aesthetics were much more important than what's happening on the ground. So mass up the numbers, take a picture, and say, wow, what a crowd.
Huge crowd.
You see? They've learned a very useful lesson from that. So they do what you call tailor-made campaigns. What I know is that they give directives that even if there's to be buses, and the buses will be within the constituency. Nobody's allowed to move people from outside the constituency into a particular constituency. So that's a useful lesson we've also seen. Again, this started in 2020. It was as a result of COVID, but it has stayed with the politicians now by engaging groups. So identifiable groups, GUTA, AGI, NAT, NAGRAT, old senior citizens, all of them have
clergy.
Now, the clergy,
the imams.
Yes, the imams, right? All of them, the traditional authorities and what have you. All the two leading contenders have learned useful lessons from what COVID brought, and I think it's a good engagement. You then tailor your message to suit the group that you are meeting. Sometimes you get useful feedback from them, especially before you put together your manifesto. Those useful input will then feature into your manifesto. So that's a very brilliant development on the political space. Again, you have multiple campaign teams. So the flag bearer is leading a team. and then say chairman is leading a team, the running mate is leading a team, the spouses of either the president or the former president leading a team, and then you have the party itself also taking it up upon itself. That's good. It lessens the pressure on the flag bearer. We've all covered political campaigns before. In the past, everybody's moving with a candidate, and you end up pissing off many more people who end up voting against you because the convoy is too long. You have inconvenienced everybody. So useful lessons have been learned. To the extent that even Bawumia decided to now go with the bus, right? So these are all positives in the space. Aside that, we, for the first time, also, I can say for the second time or third time, we didn't have a debate. So the issue of a debate and we sitting down to mark who won and who did, and conveniently we always give it to a third person. We avoid the NDC candidate and MPP candidate, and we say that it's either Indum won or Abu Sakara won.
Yes, or
all the previous debates that we've had.
Dr. Mahama.
Yes, Edward Mahama. So when Kufuor's time, Kufuor I think engaged in the debate just once.
Yes, it was Edward Mahama.
We said that Edward Mahama was the winner. We avoided Atta Mills and we avoided Kufuor and said Edward Mahama won. And then when Akufo-Addo Mahama and then Indum had a debate, we said Indum won. And then when Akufo-Addo Mahama again and then Abu Sakara had a debate, we said Sakara won. Largely, I knew from the word go that we're not going to have a debate. So I sat on the platform and said we should just forget it. It's not going to happen.
I also said it.
Yes. But moving forward, we should institutionalize it. It's become difficult for the opposition party to trust the NCC, and it's typical of our public institutions. Everybody feels like once it's a publicly funded institution, the government of the day will hold the control over that institution. So when you go to America, they have a commission. And that takes care of all these things. And that's how come they don't even have an electoral commission in America. So they don't have a Gene Mensa-like structure to come and declare who won. The media people are plugged into directly each state and the electoral system. So you can just decide to watch CNN and know that the Trump won, and watch MBS and know who won, watch Fox and know who won. But unfortunately here, regardless of the fact that on this platform we will project and we'll tell you how the trend is going. We'll tell you who's winning and who's not winning. We won't tell you who's losing. We'll tell you who's winning and who's not winning. Right? And then
Did you hear that?
Yes.
We'll tell you who is not winning, but we'll tell you who is losing.
Yeah, we want to be positive. So we will project, but we won't declare. We don't have the power to declare. Yes. Right? And usually this is how you watch. Study the trend. Start with the polling station results. Who is moving up compared to the 2020 polling station results? Who is losing ground? And if you are able to follow for about 4 or 5 constituencies, you will get a trend. So if you are hypertensive, you are overly anxious, and you cannot watch, once the trend starts developing, prepare your mind for anything. So for instance, let's say EIB electoral area. This polling station, 2020, Serwaa had 5. But this time around, Serwaa has gotten 6. So she has gained 1. 2020, this same polling station, IB had 4. But this time around, IB had lost 1. So you know that Serwaa's fortunes are becoming much more enhanced. IB is losing ground. If you study and it becomes a pattern, know that chances are your candidate will lose. Just know and prepare. It's simple. That's how you watch election night coverage. Study the trend, the pattern from the collation police center results. We will go to the constituency collation centers. Also, be studying the trend. Who has gained? Who has lost ground? And then you just prepare your mind for anything. Right. Simple. Right. Yes. So basically, the campaigns I think have been issue-based. At least the NDC will talk about their 24-hour economy. Dr. Bawumia will talk about digitalization. We'll talk about digitalization. We'll talk about the tax rebates and what have you.
I want to ask you guys this, right? I've been monitoring a lot of comments on social media, and it appears that for the two main parties, the NDC and the NPP, you can't pinpoint anything that, you can actually hold them for, that this is what, because for the NDC, many say that they haven't been able to grasp and understand the 24-hour economy policy fully to be able to explain it to another person, aside that the economy will run 24 hours, and you hear them mentioning even nightclubs, markets, and whatnot. The NPP as well, you hear them say, oh, Dr. Bawumia says digitalization. Unlike 2016, so that's fine. That's why I said, let me ask.
Okay,
unlike 2016, where you had free SHS is there.
Yes.
And everybody could say that, NPP says when they come to power, there's free SHS.
Yes.
And then you had the NDC as well.
Yes.
Promise, what did they promise again at the time?
For 2016. 2016.
No, yes,
2016. Oh, it was more or less like furthering the Better Ghana agenda, more like transformational agenda, right? Because they were in power. Usually when you are in power, you just continue.
So what is the take? What is that thing that is sticking with you?
Yeah.
Going into this election?
Look, Serwaa, you want to come?
Yes, you said you would explain that they have that one policy for both of them.
Have you heard of credit score? That if you buy something, look.
But that has been implemented already. She's talking about a promise for the future.
No.
Credit score has
been launched.
No.
He launched it.
Oh.
Dr. Bawumia launched it.
But that's his policy.
Going to next
what?
Next cycle.
Which no, I don't understand.
A manifesto promise that has not been fulfilled as a yet.
Which manifesto?
MPP manifesto.
It is in them. It's in the MPP manifesto.
But the credit score that you talk about has already been launched. It's already happening.
Oh, but that's what we are taking to the election.
Oh, so you see, when I say that there isn't anything, I'm not wrong.
No.
What is
no, Serwaa cannot be.
So tell me.
Serwaa.
Now. Then tell I'm giving you a chance.
Cannot tell me. You can't tell me it's not something that you cannot point to.
You point to something else. You can. There are many things.
Because the credit score is already point to something else.
So what do you mean by it's already there?
It has been launched.
You mean something that it is not there?
Exactly.
That we are going to do new. Oh, Serwaa.
Just answer and stop mentioning my name.
Have we had this? How do you call it? Let's come to taxation. Flat rate.
So if you wake any NPP person up and ask them what is that one policy Dr. Bawumia will implement, they'll talk about the flat tax rate.
Yes, that's one.
Okay, thank you.
Why you don't understand the flat tax rate?
So, what
you mentioned some?
What else, Cliff?
What I have observed with this particular campaigning,
disabled, disabled graduates.
If you want us to debate on that, we will, because this disability fund thing that this government intends to set up, the payment, the releasing of the monies for the persons with disability itself has been a challenge.
Have you looked at the funding arrangement in the manifesto? That's why I'm saying there's no.
Okay, no problem.
Why you know what?
So, funding for persons with disability.
It's a different.
No
so I look at the messaging, the summary, reset and upgrade. Reset and upgrade. And I was going to say, for me, short of my biases, the poster boy for this particular campaign or this election has been Dr. Bawumia, because largely he has forced everybody to depart from the traditional way of doing things. And of course, it didn't start just this year, just this election. You know, introduction of lectures and all that was something he introduced into our body politics, forcing people to focus on the rare issues. Now, if you pick the two, Dr. the MPP's key message is digitalization. So then, you begin to do a disaggregation of what the digitalization really means.
Credit score.
And so then the element of credit score will come in, training of 1 million youth in coding, all falls within. But the theme for the campaign itself is digitalization. And so I'm not surprised. My only challenge has been with the opposition. Whilst the opposition has been very good in articulating the challenges, which we all know and we all feel, I think there is a vacuum in terms of the measures they are going to put in place in addressing. And for me, I felt those who even organized or arranged or allowed the former president to appear on the BBC interview did some level of disservice to him, because not long ago he had appeared on the local FM station in Kufudria, where I don't know whether it's Kufudria or Akwetia, but in the eastern region, where a question about the 24-hour economy had been posed to him, and his explanation clearly did not sound convincing. And then boom, the BBC one comes in and even comes to make the situation worse. And I have held my own view that in as much as 24-hour economy looks like a catchy tag, those who proposed that themselves did not think through it very well, because for 24-hour economy is an effect of a policy. And so if you have not thought through the policy and just announced 24-hour economy, then you are going to have a huge difficulty explaining it, because largely economics is about rationality, largely influenced by demand and supply factors. And demand and supply, whilst it is easy to induce supply, it is not easy to induce demand unless you can push money into people's pocket. People who have discretionary income plenty, that spending it becomes easy with them. But within our economy, I was wondering how that 24-hour economy was going to be achieved when the policies that will yield the 24-hour economy itself are not there. And that is why you realize that there's some level of dissonance in almost every body within the NDC that try to explain the 24-hour economy. The one that we took home, that became the joke of on social media, became the issue of reign of lions and elephants and feeding them with aeroplanes. So yes, by and large, and for like IB said, for the MPP, they are in government, and so it is easy to preach continuity. It is easy to preach continuity because the major flagship policy that they introduced into their campaigning from 2008 continues to remain relevant today. So you talk about free SHS. It is not going to be easy to wish it away. And so they will hold the bragging right of further enhancing it. Serwaa talks about credit scoring already being implemented. Yes, once they have implemented, they would continue to enhance it.
You give me the opportunity to explain.
So for me, that is it. But I think, interestingly, I'm tempted to believe that the approach by the vice president in his campaigning has also gone a long way to diffuse tension in this year's campaigning, because we are mandate to move people away from the name callings, the invectives, and the ridicules that had characterized our campaign over the years. And so, surprisingly, yesterday, all of them held their rallies on the same stretch. On the same stretch. And yet, not an incident of party people clashing with each other. So for me, sincerely speaking, I think this is one particular election that affords us a lot of useful lessons going into the next future elections. How we enhance on the positives will clearly demonstrate how our democracy grows going into the future. By and large, I think we've had a very successful campaigning, less incidents, and I know even after the elections, when the results begin to trickle in and then the final results is announced, we are going to see the kind of atmosphere existing now carrying in there. We'll have to congratulate especially the two. I have said that this issue about debates, possibly we should legislate it and make it that for any given period, parties with representation in the House are those who participate in the election. Because it looks as if our democracy has been modeled around the American system. So we tend to fancy everything American, and that's the yardstick people use in measuring whether we are doing well as a democracy or not. And once we believe debating is part of their system, we must find a mechanism to make it. Yes, we are a multi-party democratic, but the results does not show a multi-party society.
It's a duopoly.
It's a duopoly, and the earlier we are, of course, you can't outlaw the multi-party.
Exactly.
Nature,
so then that's not even.
But we must have mechanism to project the duo, because whether we like it or not, for a very long time to come, they are going to determine how this country runs, and it will be good to have them. The last time a third force emerged in America was Ross Perot, somewhere in the 90s, and after that fizzled out. America is also a multi-party democracy, but somehow they have projected the duopoly, and it has worked for them beautifully. And for me, for us to get the full benefit of even what our candidates articulate, especially the two leading one, when you put them on the same stage and you, Serwaa, begin to fire your questions, and you get surprised like you were shocked in Kumasi, then we'll be able to make informed judgment over our candidates.
Right. Okay.
Serwaa, I agree with you.
And whilst at that, speak on the final rally.
Okay,
quickly.
That's fine.
We have to wrap up.
I agree with you that they are not catchy phrases like, okay, free senior high school, boom, or one district, one factory, one constituency, one ambulance. Those phrases are not there. But if you watch somebody like Vice President Bawumia, everything he's done has been anchored on digitalization. Serwaa, if you watch throughout his campaign, it's anchored. So here, I will tell you that the replacement for the major one for Bawumia's campaign has been digitalization, and that brought about the credit scoring system. And when he mentioned this on campaign platform, we saw the social media, his political opponents, when we said that when you buy something, you pay 1 CD, 2 CD, and all that, and people were. But there's a major policy that he's explained.
Which one?
The credit score, when you can buy credit or
you is not what you're answering.
No, I said digitalization. That's a major thing. I said that that's a major, and based on that he anchored all his policies on. If you look at Bawumia's campaign, I am saying that the equivalent of the free senior high school that you are talking about, that covers everybody. The other one that will cover every Ghanaian is the digitalization. Serwaa, some years back, if you had your electricity, you did not have electricity, you have to wait till the following morning to be able to get it. Today, if you have the meter, that type of meter, you sit at home and buy electricity and you see your light on. That's what digitalization has done. So all his campaign is based on that, and you have the subsectors under digitalization. I was going, because there's no time, I was going to explain the credit score. For today, Serwaa, you travel, you use your credit cards. That's for Serwaa, you are credit worthy. If today I have that system is working in Ghana, I will not have to buy anything cash. I have my bankers. What I go, they have my card, Serwaa. They will put money in my card that I don't have in my bank account. They will give me some amount. I can use that amount to go to market and purchase things. Meanwhile, I don't have the money, but I'm buying things. So when they put it, that's credit card, right, Serwaa? That's what you call credit card. They put money there for you. They buy your bank. Put money there for you. You don't have the money, but they put the money there for you, so that when money drops into your account, it's being deducted, and your money that you have borrowed, even MTN is doing it. Those of you borrowing money is for, sorry, none of you actually borrows money from MTN. I'm sorry, but that's what happens. That is what credit system means. But when you said it, you pay small. You go, if your credit score is high, you can go to any shop and buy things and pay small, because the credit score, because you are credit worthy. So these are the things that will develop the country. It is not about, people talk about digitalization and the lab, it is not economy. Serwaa, Uber. You know, Uber is just an app. Uber as a company, they don't own cars. It is you. When you buy your car, you go onto the app. Uber 1 year, let me just say 2 years to be charitable. Their revenue for 2 years is more than Ghana's total GDP. Check. Apple, just an app. Their revenue is more than Ghana's GDP, where we have gold, we have diamond, we have bauxite, we have debe, cocoa. All that put together. Uber will use just 2 years or 1 year to generate that income. So that's what digitalization does. So when people say that Bawumia has moved from economy to digitalization, really, what is economy? So let me come to the rally. I totally agree with Cliff. What happened yesterday? Look, initially when the two parties chose the locations, I was a bit concerned. I'm saying that, look, it's the same route. If you are going there, if you are going to Legon, and these people going to Madina, they will have to pass the same route. If you are going to Legon from Madina, you pass. If you are from Madenta or Madina coming as MPP support, it's the same route. But they did that seamlessly yesterday. Nothing happened. We didn't hear anything. It's a plus to the two main parties. We must congratulate them for it.
Yeah, the police has actually commended them also.
They behave well. And it was so beautiful. Look, you see them when they drive past each other. Whose one we say us? It happens in many places. This will say number 1. This will say number 8. That's the beauty of democracy.
Yeah.
And we can replicate it on Saturday. Yeah. We don't need to fight. I have said that if you just pick your photo ID card, these days, even without your photo ID card, you can vote. Just go and be in the queue. When it is your turn, you just go and vote and walk away. If it comes to vote counting and you think that you want to observe it, there's always a distance for everybody. You come and watch it. And it's so clear. They're counting 1, 2, 3. Everybody sees that. It's so transparent. So let's behave. Let's act like the political parties have acted yesterday. They've all done well. No incident free. In fact, incident free yesterday. Let's continue with that kind of conduct to our polling centers. You vote peacefully. Look, if we do that and we come out, the loser will know that he has lost squarely. The winner will know that he has won squarely. And we'll move on as a country. Whoever wins, Ghanaians will accept and will move on. Okay. But if we say that, look, this is somebody's stronghold, you want to go and do to trust him, you may find yourself in trouble. If you go to another, because all the two major parties have their strongholds, and people will want to come out and vote for their parties. So let them come out freely and vote. Don't go to, let's say you go to K2 South and you want to disrupt the people from voting, or you go to Bantama, you want to disrupt the people from voting. That will be tantamount. They will lead to chaos, and we should avoid that. Let's all go out there with our voter ID. We'll go and queue nicely. It is our turn. We'll vote and walk away. And the EC, because we all have reps in every process. We have reps. Political parties have their representatives at the polling stations. They have the collation centers. They have their reps at every particular location throughout the whole process. So let's all be law-abiding, so that at the end of it all, we say thank you to ourselves. As a country, we move on.
Okay.
And as for we don't have time for the messages, what they said on the platforms and all that. I'm not sure we have. Do we have time?
No, we don't.
So that's all. So let me wish every Ghanaian well, so that we'll go and do this tomorrow and show to the whole world that we are a country, as Nkrumah said, capable of managing our own affairs.
Right.
So that we'll continue to be the beacon of hope and democracy that the whole world has given us.
Okay. Ibrahim.
Well, so on the question you asked about the messages as whether we have flagship policies, yes, I think both of them do. So yes, NDC talk about the 24-hour economy, and people talk about digitalization, but the two of them are punching holes into each other's policies, and that's normal. And if you don't take care, you'll be swayed.
Yes.
See, it's not true that NDC cannot explain 24-hour economy. It's just a political.
Oh, did you listen to? So this man is really a debate.
He was very quiet.
Because I didn't go there.
It's also not true that digitalization is so vague and that there's nothing for you to put into the whole of digitalization. I've heard these people talk about the fact that the vice president is running away from the economy. That's how come he's adopted digitalization. I've watched the two political campaigns. If there's anything that MPP has done for the past 2 months, it is to scale down the digitalization conversation and bring up education, free teachers. So if you ask anybody today who's been watching the political space, what message the NPP is taking to tomorrow, it's free teachers.
That's true. Because
so there was a switch.
Somebody brought it back.
At a point. And if you are a political watcher, you can bear testimony to the point I just made.
Yeah, right.
The NDC, and of course there was a poll that was done by Codeo, pre-election survey, that flagged the NDC talking more about the economy than the MPP, and you understand why. The economy is not a comfortable conversation for the MPP.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay.
Given the economic conditions the country is in, it's not a conversation that the party
I wish you have time to debate this economy.
No, Codeo report is there. I can send it to you.
No, I know.
Codeo put out a pre-election survey.
I know.
And it's that MPP is talking more about education, NDC is talking more about economy. And it's a given. You can understand why if you studied what's happening.
I know.
Yes. Aside that, yes, for instance, I heard yesterday the president talk about the fact that the 24-hour economy, which the flag bearer has explained, is voluntary.
Yes.
And he has a question, which policy is voluntary? Have you ever seen a policy that's voluntary? Yeah, that's the president speaking on a political platform, so we can understand. But yes, every policy, in fact, if it's not a taxation, then it's a voluntary policy.
No.
Oh, let me land, don't worry.
No.
The, NHIS. Has anybody put a gun to your head and go and get an NHIS card? It's voluntary.
Oh,
no,
I'm coming.
No, I'm coming.
No, government policy is supposed to affect everybody.
Oh, don't worry. One district, one factory is a policy.
No, you finish.
One district, one factory is a
Government
policy.
policy is supposed to affect everyone.
How?
Does your flat rates affect everyone?
Yes, it does.
For as long as you use the port.
How many?
Not
how
even
many
as long as I use the port.
No.
If you have time, we debate this matter. It affects you.
Dedication is important. Let's get
dedication.
Let's get dedication. Let's get dedication.
He said as long as you use the port.
No, he has moved. As long as you are a Ghanaian,
as long as I use the port. If I have no business at the port.
It's as long as you are a Ghanaian.
Then it benefits me because I don't go to the port.
Serwaa, I don't agree with that. As long as you use the port.
As
long as you are a Ghanaian, I say. I agree. I disagree with you.
No problem.
Then please hold your fire.
One district, one factory.
Yes.
Government policy, flagship.
Yes.
It offers incentives to businesses to take advantage.
One district, what?
One district, one factory.
It means that every district,
It's not every district that has a factory today because somebody must express interest to take advantage of the policy. If that has not happened in your district, you don't have it.
No.
Oh gosh.
Please go ahead. Because we know that not every district has a factory.
But it doesn't mean it is not a policy because the government has not been able to do it.
You are not getting me. You are not. Nobody saying it's not a policy. You see, government
has not been able to do it.
You are not. You see,
let the ID land.
The point I was making was that you're a businessman. You express interest.
Interest in what?
In taking advantage of the government policy, the tax rebate and the incentives.
So which one is the policy?
The policy is the one district, one factory.
No, which one? The 24-hour economy. Which one is the policy?
Okay, you want to find out if
it is a policy. Which one is the policy?
Okay, good. Then you can match it to one district, one factory and say that, listen to me. We've heard, you see, when we sit back and we listen to the politicians, we equally understand and we make views of what they say.
Yes.
They talk about incentives, right? That electricity bills, right? If you implement 24-hour economy in your setup, you pay less by way of electricity. Or you haven't heard that.
They say in the night.
Oh. You have not heard that. That they say you pay less. So that's a policy. If you want, you take advantage. If you don't want, you don't take advantage. Just like one district, one country.
I agree with that.
That's the point I'm making. You see,
okay, we'll explain.
The politicians will say things that will not offer you book education. When we sit here as journalists, like I said, I grant the president that because he was speaking on a political platform.
No, but the one who himself.
Please, can you allow him to land?
That for the president to say that no policy in the whole world is voluntary. Then what becomes of even affirmative action? Affirmative action is a policy. It's a policy that is skewed in a way to help a particular group of people. So that is.
My dad voluntary.
Is that voluntary?
The point I'm making is that it's a voluntary in a way that if you want to assess it, this is the criteria for you to meet before you assess it, right? Right?
Okay.
That's the criteria I'm talking about.
Of voluntary you are talking about.
Yes.
It means that it may not affect anybody.
Everybody, yes. That's the point.
Okay.
That's the point.
Policy that may be discriminatory.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not for everybody.
Okay.
You see, government policies.
Please allow Ibrahim.
Let me hear you. Government policy might affect everybody.
I'm coming.
It's okay. It's okay.
When government
not necessarily
has a policy,
yes,
you are left with the issue of choice. I'm coming.
Yeah, I get that.
You are left to the issue of choice.
Yes.
You understand?
Whether to take it or
so
not.
whether you take it or not. So when you say, for example, the government policy of free SHS.
Yes. It's not.
The state is saying,
yes, we
are bearing the cost of anybody or everybody who attends a public secondary school.
Exactly.
If you opt out, but it doesn't make the policy voluntary.
It doesn't make it compulsory for you that if you don't go to a public school, you won't get education.
You opt out.
It says everybody can benefit from it. You see, don't say it affects everybody. Say everybody can benefit from it. Okay. It's available to everybody. You exercise that choice, but it's not compulsory.
Let's agree to have different. Let's agree to have different interpretation.
Let's agree. It's compulsory.
Let's agree to have different interpretation.
PSHS, very good example, and I believe that it is the best thing that Akufo-Addo has ever given to Ghana. And now there are no ifs and buts about that. But it is not compulsory.
All right,
we have free universal compulsory basic education, right? Where if you don't take your children to school, you can be arrested. Free SHS, you can opt to go to a different school.
You cannot be arrested. You see, that's the mistake.
Free, those days. I'm not talking about today. In Nkrumah's time, there are people. There are people arresting parents.
That is in there with the assumption that the state will put in all the necessary measures, including access.
That's today.
Now, where you have private schools and government is unable. Don't forget, people are unable to. People are forced to send their children even at the primary level to the private schools, largely because government, the state has reneged on its responsibility of creating that environment. So if the state provides all those things and yet you decide free compulsory, you decide that you are going to opt out, then the law can come after.
I get that. It was implemented in Nkrumah.
Okay,
where if you don't take your children to school, there are some punitive measures taken against you. The point I'm making is that the policy is available for everybody, but you then choose whether you want to benefit directly from the policy or not. That's how policies are. Like I've mentioned, there are health insurance schemes, private, Other people don't want national health insurance scheme. They opt for that one. It doesn't make NHIS less of a policy as introduced by Kufuor. That's the point I'm making. So there are incentives. The policy is the offering of the incentives. It is not compulsory that everybody takes advantage of the incentive. If you want, take advantage of it. That doesn't make it less of a policy.
So how does the incentive then become 24 hours then?
Okay, so they explain once again that if a factory is operating 24 hours, yes, if a factory is operating 24 hours, right, it gets to employ many more people.
When people don't buy, how will the person employ?
You can make that argument about demand and supply, but the point is we are an import-driven economy as we speak. It means that the things we need in this country, we don't produce them here, we bring them from elsewhere. These are the, see, like I said, this conversation, and like you said, kudos to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The conversation has been issue-based, but the politicians will seek to deceive the general public. When we get the opportunity, we have to let them know that this one is politics that they are doing. This one is politics that they are doing.
But that's exactly what we are doing.
Yes, no, it does. I agree with you. It's a good exercise. I'm giving you your flowers. It's a good exercise. What we are doing is a good exercise.
Okay, yes. Thank you. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
When you do a policy like this, that it is voluntary and people will have the opportunity to apply and you assess them before you give them, it may be discriminatory in a manner that will lead to protocol acceptance. It will lead to somebody may bring his proposal. If the person, you see the person doesn't support you because it's voluntary and you have to decide who you give to, the person may not support your political philosophy, and the people in charge of choosing who to support may not give you the incentives that you need. And don't let's kid it. MPP, NDC, we know how sometimes when they come, they look like, oh, you are party A, you are party B. If you are given the opportunity to choose between somebody who is party A and somebody party B, and you are in charge, party A is in charge, and you have the opportunity, who do you think you will give to? Two people are in different political parties. They come with their package that they want to access a 24-hour economy. But you don't have all the means. You have to pick. The two parties, who do you think you give to? Won't you give to the person you pick who is aligned to you, and you refuse the person who is not aligned to you? That's what I'm talking about. But let it affect anybody. There should not be any, you have to. Give it to everybody. But if you pick and choose that people, you have to assess people. There will be a secretariat first of all. If you listen to the BBC thing, there will be a secretariat, and the secretariat will then vet your applications before.
All right, thank you very much.
That's one disrespect.
I know it's a policy. I am saying it's a policy. But I'm saying that when you do that, there may be discrimination. It may not achieve the purpose that you want to achieve. The party A that you are, the factory or company A that you are refusing, may be the company that will employ more people. But we know the politics that we do in this country. Don't let's kid ourselves. You may not support that person because it doesn't belong to your party. Meanwhile, it is that company that will give the employment that you are looking for. So we should not subject it to this scrutiny. You have to apply and have to assess secretary and all that.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have to go because we have another conversation. Coming up, Ibrahim Al-Hassan is the head of political desk here.
Tell people to go and vote tomorrow.
Yes, we have been saying it since morning that you need to go out and vote in your numbers.
Turn out in this election.
The special voting recorded minimal, 83%. That's less than what was recorded in 2020. And so it's a concern.
Which region?
No, national. 83%.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Audu Mahama is managing editor
there were
for the
issues with
newspaper,
the people who were supposed to vote.
Some of them didn't find their names.
Is a chief reporter, Ghanaian Times Corporation, or New Times Corporation. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. Yes, I did. Stay with us after the break. We're still going to stay on elections. This time, talk about misinformation and disinformation. We'll be back shortly. You're welcome back to the show. Before we go, tomorrow is election day, and we all are expected, eligible voters are expected to go to the polls to vote. But we cannot shy away from talking about disinformation and misinformation throughout the entire process. I'm joined this morning by Jerry Sam, who is the Executive Director for Pen Plus Byte, to have a more detailed conversation about how they intend to combat this disinformation and misinformation that has characterized our electoral process over time. Jerry, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. So tell us about, first of all, what does Pen Plus Byte do, for those who don't know?
Good morning, Serwaa, and thanks for having me. It feels really quiet today, based on all the campaigns that we've had over the past week. So it's really a pleasure to be here. So Pen Plus Byte, we've been around since 2001. And we leverage on digital tools to enhance citizen participation in governance, resource management, climate change, as well as well-being. And most of our work is driven by new media and innovations. So our work spans, from the media training and media usage of technology to enhance their work, and also providing, everyday tools for citizens. So we customize WhatsApp, SMS, develop web apps, mobile apps for citizens to participate in the governance process. So over the years, our experience, we realized that the more citizens participate in the governance process, they tend to own the process. So in elections, when citizens are involved in reporting incidents, are participating fully, they tend to accept the outcome of the election. So transparency is very key, and we're happy that there are tools available for citizens to participate in the electoral process. But one key thing that is disturbing us is disinformation, and I'm sure we'll drive deep into that.
Okay, but let's talk about disinformation, the work that you have done. How bad is it, and misinformation?
So we have three types of it. We call it information disorder. So the disinformation one is, we say is the bad one or the ugliest one amongst the three, which is basically that you are intentionally causing harm by misleading people with information.
Okay.
So the intention, behind it to basically disrupt information integrity is what is worrying. We have misinformation. Misinformation is not unintentional. So a journalist goes out there to report a flood incident, doesn't have pictures to support the test, and would go to Google and get it and add it to it. So really the intent is not to mislead. And then we have malinformation. So malinformation is somebody digging your past for things that you actually did, but you don't want the public to know, and then spreading it. So it's true, but also the intent behind this is to cause harm. But what is worrying for us is disinformation. We have deep fakes. In fact, ahead of these elections, we're very worried that people are going to leverage on AI tools, which have become very, very good. We've actually come up with some few instances of AI tools being used. We identify some bots that are using ChatGPT, for instance, to spread disinformation. But it didn't get so much into the space, as it were. What we had was actually cheap fakes. So cheap fakes is where you probably slow down a video to make the person slur as if they are drunk. We saw that apply to one of the candidates. Also doing picture quotes and putting in, next to the picture things that the person haven't said, but you claim that they have said and spreading it. And then of course we had some cheap ones that is used Photoshop to do. But the good thing actually, which we find now, is that people are calling those spreading misinformation, disinformation out. So you find, below a post on social media or X or Facebook, people say, will actually mention Ghana police, come and see somebody is spreading disinformation. I'm sure you've seen, quite a bit of that, and that is a good thing. And I think we should carry on, censoring, those who are doing all those things.
Okay, you have a new project coming up. Tell us about it.
So it's the disinformation detection platform.
Okay.
And it's developed by my organization, Pen Plus Bytes. It's part of our Disinform Shield. So we are shielding the public against disinformation and defending democracy. The main idea behind it is to use a platform to identify, track disinformation, and provide solutions to combat it during the electioneering period. So as you know, I mean, disinformation is becoming very prevalent because of the plethora of platforms. So now all individuals have become media houses. I mean, I can be my content generator, be my editor, and be my publisher at the same time without any controls you have ordinarily in a newsroom. And disinformation is actually taking space in almost all facets of our lives. But the key thing with elections is that it's actually bringing about mistrust in institutions, affecting public opinions. And this platform aims to make sure that accurate information prevails, so that people, views are safeguarded when, they're making informed decisions. The platform is quite proactive in detecting misleading content, analyzing their sources, their spread, and then coming up with, fact-based solutions to curb disinformation. And this fact-based solutions, make sure that we get influencers, some, like yourself, to amplify those, factual information, so that this information does not disrupt, our electoral process. So this is what the platform is.
Okay, walk us through it. So how does it work?
So it has three ways of working.
Okay.
So we have the monitoring, we have the detection and analysis, and then we have the intervention to curb it. Okay. So for the monitoring, we're using advanced algorithms to monitor or to scan social media assets, as well as news websites and blogs, to gather election information. And then we're using natural language processing with some bit of AI. We're using AI for good, and then also sentiment analysis to detect and flag misleading content.
Okay.
Once that is done, then we do network analysis.
Okay.
And use graph database to, so we show a graph of, the various nodes of disinformation. So who are the actors? What strategies are they using to spread it? Strategies even includes what time. People actually do that on weekends where people have time on their hands to go on social media. In traffic time, when people are in traffic, we still use phones, unfortunately. That's the time that they release information. So the network actually shows all those strategies and provides corrective solutions to it. And then it generates alerts. Once it generates alerts, then we go into the intervention. So the intervention is where we do the analysis to, the flagged content. So the flagged content is verified. So the verification process is very simple. So we call trusted sources on the ground. This time around, we're working with Codeo. We're working with GJ as well. So they will verify the content. So the verification process is 3 phases. So we do verify to be true, that in fact that misinformation or disinformation has been spread, verify to be false about the things that the disinformation is spreading, and of course unverified. It's not all of them that we can verify. And then we collaborate with the media houses, Codeo, to verify it, and then we send alerts again out, either through press conferences, call the people out, because we don't do enough naming and shaming. So this time around we want to do naming and shaming, so that they will know that eyes are on them and they should stop spreading it. People actually take money to do this, sort of diabolical stuff. Yes. So we try to call them out, let everybody know in the room that these are the people who are disrupting the processes. And at the end of the day, we don't want this information to prevail, and make sure that we safeguard our electoral integrity. People go to the polls based on correct, accurate information, not about disinformation about candidates or political parties or their manifestos, but then what they believe in, and they vote based on that.
Okay, how can media houses plug into this platform?
So normally, what the first thing I want to do is training. Okay. So it's a new platform that we developed, and we realized that if media houses actually leverage on it, they can use it internally to analyze, their own performance online, and then also how they can use it to detect disinformation. But beyond that, in elections itself, what we want is the media houses to follow our accounts, which is the Pen Plus Bytes account, Ghana Elections account, Codeo Elections account, because whatever we verify, whatever we detect, we're going to be tweeting about it. Of course, not the ones that will cause fear and panic, but the ones that we feel that everybody needs to know about, needs to be spread out. So we want the media houses to tap into this. It's real time. It gives information in real time, so that we can help amplify accurate, verified information during the news, and also don't give oxygen to disinformation as and when it happens. The next bit also is that media houses can actually tap into the content whenever you have any issue that you want verified. You can basically tweet at us, or send us messages, and then we'll verify it for you before you broadcast it.
Okay.
So that's how media can engage. Yeah.
Okay. So moving forward, what is Pen Plus Byte going to do, for everyone? How can anyone get on board actually to help with this whole combating of disinformation and misinformation?
We have rules for everybody. But before then, I would like to say that the platform is really, really working.
Okay.
It is manned by...
It's active?
It's very active, yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because of the unverified information, we don't make everything public.
Okay.
Because somebody can because it's detecting from various platforms. If you make it public, people can even use that. The disinformation that has not been verified to push to say, I got this from the Pen Plus Byte platform or the Kodio platform and spread. So we have cybersecurity experts manning it. We have data scientists, and of course we're collaborating with Kodio, who have footprints across the country, and they're very good at grassroots monitoring. Who can take the information offline to make sure that people get access to correct information. But how do everybody get involved? For citizens, we want citizens to be proactive in calling out disinformation. If you see something bad, say it. Call people out and make sure that you only share verified information. For the media, we pray that you tap into it, use it to verify, whatever disinformation or information that you are not sure about before you publish it, and also continually follow your principles of journalism. Make sure that you're pushing accurate information so that we sanitize the airspace. For civil society, they should take initiatives like we're doing, do media and information literacy, so that at the end of the day, what we are aiming towards is pre-banking rather than debunking. Because when you debunk, some people will not see the accurate information.
All right.
Bad news actually spread more than good news.
Good news, true.
So we want, to pre-bank where you see disinformation, you don't touch it at all.
All right.
It's oxygen. And for government, just to...
Our time is up.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Before they cut us off air, then all you said won't even go on air. Thank you so much, Jerry Sam.
Thank you.
He's the Executive Director for Pen Plus Byte. We'll bring you back, don't worry. We apologize for it. Thank you for watching the show. On behalf of the entire team, we're very grateful for your time. Stay with us because we have a lot coming up